You know, a whole lot of black Americans, a whole lot of black Americans say they are African Americans. African Americans. You know, I don't really get it. I don't really get it. This was something that we were discussing on our Telegram group chat yesterday. One of my African American actually is my Black American viewer who was on the platform yesterday. He was saying something that the Black American people call themselves African Americans. Meanwhile, they call the white people, they don't call the white people European Americans. They call them white Americans. So there is a confusion here. I really, really don't understand why Black Americans call themselves African Americans. Or I don't really understand why they accept to be called African Americans. You people are not Africans. You are black people from America. Okay? Let's let's be a little bit clear about this. Okay? I want us to be very clear. I know a whole lot of viewers say I am a controversial YouTuber. I'm not controversial. I like to be real. I like you know I like to talk about real stuffs. So I don't really understand it. If you say you are African American, what makes you African American? Are you from Africa or you were born in America? Like, I don't get it because if you people are calling the white people white Americans, you don't call them European Americans. It doesn't make sense. Yes, it doesn't make sense at all if you say uh, you call yourselves Black Americans, you call yourself African Americans. It doesn't make sense. So if you know that what I'm saying, African you know, a whole lot of them say I'm controversial YouTuber, but my controversy is something that it brings understanding. Yeah, it brings understanding. So you call those what do you call it? White people from Europe who migrated to the United States. You call them white Americans. You don't call them European Americans. By you people claim you are African American. I need some explanation. They are Black Americans, African millennials. Trust me, I said these people are simply Black Americans. They are not African Americans. If I need an explanation today. On my Telegram group chat, I had one of my viewer. He is also a potential viewer of yours too as well, African millennial. He was on the platform and he was like, they have a lot of they have typical white Americans, and the whites who are from the south of America, they are exotic white people. They are not considered to be white people. So I got really confused, and I was asking, why didn't they categorize the white people in America European Americans? Because they are, if that's the case, they are also from Europe, so they should be called European Americans. They shouldn't be called white Americans. So if they are going to be called white Americans, therefore the black people too, they are not supposed to be called African Americans. They are supposed to be called Black Americans. You understand? Because they are not from Africa. I don't. Yeah, Joseph Kwe. I simply have serious problem with that uh, uh, concept of calling Black Americans African Americans. Yes, Anusi, I can see you are trying to join, but the whole thing is your connection is very bad, so you are not able to join. Uh, I'm going to clip the link if you want to join the conversation. I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to post the link at the description box so that you can join and explain yourself. If you are Black American, come on here and tell us why you call yourself African Americans. Because you are not African, you are Black. And you were born in America, so you are Black American. You understand? Me, I don't agree with that concept that you people say you are African Americans. You are not African Americans. You are not. You understand what I'm saying? You are Black Americans. If you say you are Black like us from Africa, 100% I agree. But you are not from Africa. So where did you get that concept of African American from? The brother from Barbados is on my Telegram group chat. So if you want to get in touch with him, you have to join the Telegram group chat so that you can get in touch with him. He's on the Telegram group chat. Yes, I see you, my sweet sister. Yes, let me read some comment here. Good morning, Supreme Leader. I don't call myself an African American. I am a Black American. The term African American is completely inaccurate. Yes. Let me clip this let me tag it here. You see, so my sister, African American sister, is making it clear here in the comment section. Yes, she's making it clear. She says what? I don't call myself an African American. I am Black American. That's fact. The term African American is completely inaccurate. It's not. It's not accurate. Yeah. So if you say you are African American, I want you to come and simply explain yourself, because me, I don't get it too. I don't. Let me see. How do I pin it? I want to pin the what do you call it? How do I pin it? The comment, or I should go and create a banner. Let me see. Banner. Okay, let me add it. So, guys, I'm trying to. Okay, I don't know how to do it. I wanted to create a what do you call it? I wanted to create to pin the link so that people can simply join it. I don't know how to do it, so it's very difficult for me. Let me see. Okay, I don't know how to do it. So African Americans, if you are here, come and explain yourself. Aren't Africans in America identify as Blacks? Okay, so African Millennium also made some comment here. She says, aren't Africans? Okay, so I have to pin it from YouTube. Oh, okay. You see, I don't really know how to do it. So let me go to YouTube and then try and see if I can simply pin it on YouTube, because I'm new to all these things here. So let me see. Okay, so I have to go to YouTube and then so how do I pin it? How do I so okay, I see it now. Okay. I did it. Yeah, Marcus B, you are here. Marcus B, are you American? Please let me know. Yes, Anusi, you are here also. So Marcus B, if you are American, let us know first. Then explain it to us. Why do Black Americans claim they are African Americans? Yes. Marcus B, you are on. African Million says, aren't Africans in America identify as blacks? Yes, we are black people. We are black people. But you see, they are being identified like that. But the fact you identify black doesn't mean you are from Africa and doesn't make you African. You understand? Let me read some comment here also from Passport Light. The Black Americans should watch Supreme Leaders uh, before they go to Africa. Most of them they watch Wadamaya and they end up going to Africa. Give them some advice. Yes, I was attacked recently. I did some video about Wadamaya and also uh, one of our Kenyan vloggers. She's called what do you call it? African Tigress too. I had a lot of backlash. Marcus B, your microphone is off. You joined the communicate the chat, but I can't hear you. Okay, so Marcus B is not able to talk. All right, so like I said, let me read some comments. Okay, so I pinned the I was able to do it though. But I get you on some hate bias trying to build your channel. There's no such race called black. When I'm brown. No, I'm not. Live FM. Live FM. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to, how do I say this? Talking about my channel to grow, okay? Let me make something clear out here. A whole lot of people who come and then comment under some of the videos that I do to talk about some other YouTubers, a whole lot of them think that I am trying to build my channel through their names or their popularity. No. My channel, if you look at my channel, I don't post regularly. I don't vlog regularly. I don't come online and then, like every day post. I don't do that. I come online and post when I think it's necessary. When I think, oh, okay, this is it. Let me just come and then talk about something. I come and talk about it. You understand? I don't make anything on my YouTube channel. If you like, I can share my this thing for you guys to see. I don't rely on YouTube. I have a job. I'm okay. So yes, I don't see you are on. If you want to say something, you understand. I don't rely on YouTube. Some people come and then say, since you started your channel, you have only few subscribers, 5K. You don't get it. Before you say some things about growing channel and stuff like that, you have to simply go through my videos. I don't post regularly. I'm not on YouTube to make money. I don't use YouTube as a revenue. You understand? I am on YouTube to have fun. I am on YouTube to do what? To have fun. I like to have fun and also share.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, Sanusi. Internet was
Hello.
rough.
Oh, yeah, I hear. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing great, Sanusi. How are you too?
Oh, so I'm fine. Too long time.
Yes, it's been a long time. You disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how is life?
Yeah.
How is life? Share something with us. What do you think about African American claiming to be? What do you think about Black American claiming to be African Americans?
Okay. Firstly, so you know that I'm not good in English. I'm from Niger.
No
I
problem.
speak
No
French.
problem.
Yeah.
It's not. English is not our mother tongue. We all learn
Yeah.
English. So please,
I speak. We speak French in Niger.
Yes, no
we
problem.
are different. We are different culturally. The culture is totally different.
Different.
It's totally different. We are not this. Like, I don't know why people are talking about black. The way the African American Black African American. But I don't. So why? But that's different. Trust me, there's a lot of difference. The way our life, everything, the way we think is different. It's totally different. You understand?
Different.
And the experience we have in Africa, the tradition we have in Africa is totally different than Western society. You understand? So
Yeah.
I don't think we are blacks. Yeah, we are all blacks. Just like in the United States, they have people from England, from Italy, from all of from different part of the globe. Yeah, Abdul. So just like that, we have, because you don't know nothing about Africa. Even you come and stay in Africa for 10 years, you don't know nothing. So you can compare yourself with someone who grew up who was born there. You understand? It's taught, man. And even last time, I just want to talk about about the people, about you and Wodemaya. The word Wodemaya. He's talking about Africa. Man, you can't tell nothing about. Come to Niger. You know Niger. You know Niger people. There are plenty in Ghana. You can't tell me that. They are beggars. They are begging in Niger. They are begging on street. So what are you going to tell me about? Come. If you just come, I will take you around and I will take you house by house and just see by yourself. Instead of, they are showing what Wodemaya is doing is showing the good side. Like tourist side. Each country has this kind of things. It has one. The other side is developed than the other side. You understand? If the way Wodemaya is all doing these things, look at Libya. I'm from Niger. You can't tell me anything about. Do you know how many people are crossing every day from Agadas to Libya every single day?
Tell them. Let them know.
In desert, tell him to check the desert. I'm from Niger. Yeah. All these black African people, they will come to Niger, from Niger then to Libya. We have two borders, Niger and Algeria. You can tell me. I speak Arabic too. I've been to Algeria, as I told last time. You understand? I've been there for a long time. I speak the Arabic language. You can't tell me anything about. I know all these things. Even there are plenty of videos on YouTube. People are dying desperately. They just want to reach Europe at any way. Just, man. Even in Niger, they are stopping people. They are deporting people back to some West African country. But still, people are coming thousands of people every day. So what are you going to tell me about this thing?
Yeah, when you are telling them, you are advising them to make their research before they follow the tourist videos that Wodemaya does. They don't listen. Then they start attacking you that you are criticizing what the guy is saying.
No, the problem is that we have
the hard truth is,
we have all these places in Africa. We have all these places in Africa. You understand? If you are from West, you have your own money. You can come and establish yourself. You can come and do something. Thank for the dollar. If you change dollar to naira or change dollar, $1 is equivalent to 400 naira. It's equivalent to nearly to 1,000 sefa. So if you look at this thing, $1, imagine. If you change $1,000, it's equivalent to 550,000 sepa West African franc. Do you understand? So how many people can get 1,000? Even you are with master's degree, you are with PhD. You can't get that kind of money. Who are you to get that kind of money? You understand? It's just, man, how can you get that kind of money per month? Just as you just start work, you just started you start work, like maybe you have 3 years experience, 4 years experience. Maybe if you are working in central banks or some like a uranium company in Niger or in oil company, maybe there you can get that kind. But even there, with 1 year experience, you cannot get that kind of money there. You can't get. Who are you to get? Imagine our minimum wage. Even in Nigeria, we call it the giant of Africa. The Nigerian minimum wage is 30,000 naira. It's almost like $50 or $30. Millions of people are. This is the salary of millions. Nearly half of Nigerian population. And Nigeria is a giant. equivalent to Brazil population.
Brazil,
Almost
it's
200.
very big.
Yeah, Nigeria is almost 216 or 215 million people there. And over 100 million, their salary is 30,000 naira. That 30,000 naira. 30,000 naira is almost like 60 or $70. No, I think $60, something like that. You know, and the bag of rice in Nigeria, talk less of in Niger, even we depend on pouring all these things from Asia, the rice. If you want to buy a bag of rice with that 30,000, even safer, with that 30,000 safer, you can only buy 3 bags of rice with it. So if you buy 3 bags of rice, so you don't need anything, you need only rice. What about your health? What about saving? Many things, man. You know, I don't know. When they come, they just come with their money. They just, well, you know, I don't know why sometimes they always think like Africa. Africa is a nice place, especially for black, if you have money. But if you don't have nothing, it's better for you to leave that place.
When I do the video and I'm telling people that, especially our black people from outside Africa, when I do the video and I tell them that before they go to Africa, they have to think twice, because it is not an easy task to, even with your money, you go to Africa and flourish like that. It's not an easy thing. When you talk about this, you get attacked. Some people say you are hater. Some people say you don't want to be African and stuff like that. But the thing is, you are telling them the truth. The truth is there. For example,
in Africa? There's no job there.
Yes. For example, in Ghana, we don't have jobs in Ghana. We don't have stable electricity in Ghana. Yeah, somebody was asking if we speak
Espanol.
Yeah, I speak Spanish. Yeah. Matifi, I speak what do you call it? I speak Portuguese and I understand a little bit Spanish, but I don't speak fluent Spanish. I speak fluent Portuguese.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so inflation in Ghana is crazy. I'm telling you, people in Ghana don't have jobs. Let me just say, out of 100, only 10% of the population have jobs. 90% of the Ghanaian population don't have jobs.
Okay. 90. Let me tell. What we call, for example, you are from Ghana. I'm from Niger. Can you compare Ghana and Niger?
Not really, because the last time I went to
Ghana
Niger,
Ghana is more developed than Niger. You know that. But the only
Niger,
they are talking about Ghana.
When I was from Egypt, I was from Denmark. From Denmark, we went to Egypt, and we spent 2 days in Niger. I remember when we were at the airport, international airport in Niger. I was like, you know, it was like a big land around the airport, like a big land. When we landed, I was like,
but the problem, if you look at the airport, Niger airport, it's like a house. It's not like airport. It's just like a house, normal house.
So I was shocked when we left the airport. I was shocked. I was like really, with the money, with the resources, Niger has a lot of resources, like resources.
Yeah. Even the uranium. If you look at the uranium company, Niger has the largest, like I think number 3 or 2 in the world in terms of uranium reserve. Look at what the Europeans are doing with uranium, making bombs, making energy.
Don't go far. Look at Ukraine. Ukraine only has wheat. Look at the development they have in Ukraine. Talking about uranium. You understand? So it is crazy. Yeah. You know, like when you are here, you are talking about the reality of Africa. Some people attack you. They say you are crazy. You are not supporting the growth of Africa. But the reality is there. If we don't talk about these realities, how can people grow? How can our leaders change?
Yeah, our problem is not. Yeah, you are right. Our problem is not about our problem is not about the natural resources. About leaders. You know, if you look at this, now in Africa, we have the I think, I don't know how I'm going to call our leaders. You understand? They're just doing things for their family, just keep doing it till the end of time. I don't know. So if you are poor in Africa, you are poor. If you are rich, you are rich. That's it, Africa. I don't think there's a single way where you can follow and succeed in Africa, unless God, you know, that's it, man. I don't know how to. But the way, look at Niger. In Niger, if you go to Niamey, the capital of Niger, just let me tell one thing: 70% of houses in Niger, we have mud houses, not cement houses. 70%. You understand?
In Ghana,
Even Kumasi is more developed. Forget about Accra. Kumasi, that is more developed than the Niamey. Come on, but they just look when they talk about Africa. They just how many countries we have in Africa? We have 55 countries there. They only show you the just like 10 countries within 50 countries in Africa. You understand?
Yes.
Go to Burundi, you will surprise. Go to Central Africa, you will surprise. Go to Chad.
Yes,
I can count. I can count roads. How many roads they have in Chad?
I was in Malawi at that time. I didn't start YouTube. I was in Malawi. I was disappointed.
You see?
I was disappointed. Like seriously, people are suffering. Like people are, I thought we were suffering in Ghana. But when I went to Malawi, it was super sad. It was super sad. I've been to some few countries in the south of Africa, and it's just, it's completely sad. When we see these YouTubers, they make it look like when you come to Africa, it's a magical land. Like when you come to Africa, it's just magical. When you get there, things are going to be just super great at once. It's disappointing.
They just want to make people to come just
money.
To get more subscribers and all this. But it's a good idea to show the world that Africa is developed right now. But you have to in a good way. So you have to evaluate in a way those people in a way that everybody can understand. You understand? So that if you come to
tell them like the way Wadamaya is doing. I wish he's showing the positive side, but he should at least be real. You understand? Like, for example,
show the bad side,
he was showing the positive side, he didn't tell the people that we have people who are there to scam them when they are going to buy. He told them that when they go to Ghana, they can easily get land. If they have money, they can buy land. But we watch Black American people, they were crying on YouTube that when they went to Ghana, one land they sold to 40 people. There was one lady, her name is It Love Migrate, Black American.
Okay, I know that. I know that girl for a long time. I think she started building houses with her boy last time. They start building house all this a long time.
Yes.
She married. I think she married one guy. He's from royal. All this thing.
Yes.
He's from royal family.
There is another Black American YouTuber too, who before she was living in Germany and then she relocated to Ghana. She also went through that same problem. And this guy, Go Black Africa. Go Black Africa before Go Black Africa when started his African trip. When you watch his videos, he was like, Africa is heaven, is like this, is like that.
That time he was in Tanzania. And you can remember you are in East Africa, Tanzania is more, if you like, I think they are more developed and they compared to West Africa. That's what I think. West Africa
is more developed. When you go
I remember when he went to Sierra Leone, he was complaining when he went to Sierra Leone, he was complaining the electricity. Sierra Leone electricity. They have both.
Not only
the electricity is on top of on board.
When he was in Ghana, people they wanted to scam him. He wanted to invest in Ghana, and they wanted to scam him in Ghana. And he did a video to expose.
Yeah.
He did a video to expose it. But yet,
I like his YouTube because He's
Yeah,
different
when
than
you
what the man. He's
they
telling
attack you.
the good side and the bad side. You understand? So
Good.
that
This is what Wadamaya was supposed to do. He was supposed to balance it, and then when you talk about the good side, and then you talk about the bad side, so that when the
I
people are
don't.
going there, because a lot
I
of
don't.
Black American people, they take loans. You understand?
Yeah,
They take loans and
credit.
then they
Yeah,
go to
yeah,
Africa. When they go there and then they have this problem, they go back to America. They have problems in America. You
yeah,
understand? When they have
yeah,
problems in America, then now they are blaming the Africans who are just living there for greener pastures. They are doing
yeah.
regular jobs. And then they are calling them names. You understand? They are telling them that they are scammers, they are this, they are that. In Africa, it's like this. But they follow Wadamaya video and then they take loans and then they go to Africa and then they go and lose the money. So when Wadamaya is doing the video, he doesn't balance it like the way Go Black. When you watch Go Black, he will show some positive side and then show some negative side. You understand? So that when you are watching it, you will see the real thing that you are watching. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah, you know this man, Indigo Traveler. You know that guy who always show the bad side of the country in most of his video. Indigo Traveler.
Indigo. I think I have come across his channel before, but as you
But,
said, I'll look for it.
yeah, I used to tell this guy, I used to eat once in a day. Man, all these Black American, everybody who is ready to come to Africa, come, I will show you where. But I will take you house by house, and you see it by yourself. Why people are moving, people are traveling, crossing Mediterranean Sea. You don't know these people has privilege. I think they have more. They always think that we have more opportunity now. In Africa, we don't have opportunity. We have natural resources. That's what we have, but we don't have good leaders. So that, like, the people are calling Brazil favelas. I would say, these favela places people are talking
Yeah.
about. Trust me, the place I used to sleep, I'm talking about my
no,
father's
relax.
house where I was born.
The place
Favela is far better than that place.
Yeah, if the funny thing is when they say Brazil is favela, the favela, when you go to favela, they have running water, they have good toilet, they have
I don't have
all
it.
these basic stuffs. You understand? When you go to favela, they have all these basic stuffs in favela. But when you
They
go
have
to
24
Ghana,
electricity,
the rich
24 hours
community in Ghana,
electricity.
they don't have it.
Who have it?
You
But
understand?
let me give you me myself. I come out from that kind of, like, that I'm Hausa. I'm from that. I'm telling you the fact, in Niger. You know that I used to eat once in a day. That's it. My father don't have money. You understand what I'm talking about? And even the toilet.
When I was in Ghana, let me tell you a story. When I was in Ghana, a lot of people, they drink Coca-Cola when there is occasion, like it's Christmas.
Yeah. You are right. Absolutely
Eid.
right.
When it is Eid al-Fitr, when it is Eid al-Fitr, that's when you see people eating chicken. You understand
Even me,
what I'm saying?
when the Salah, they eat the Salah time. This is the time when we eat chicken and vibe and this Fanta and all these things.
And
When
you
are you
drink
going to get all
Fanta
these
and
things?
all that. That they don't say all these things. People go outside and then fetch water with the gallons. You understand? Like they go and then they fetch water with gallons.
Even the word they are talking about, he showed where he used to stay back in the days in Ghana. You see the house where he used to stay long time ago. Look at the kind of life he is in.
Let me show you. You even brought something up. You see the kind of life he was living at that time. We consider that time. Listen, that time we consider that kind of person rich.
You see?
You understand what I'm saying? We consider it to be rich because he's from village and he lives in that kind of house. It means that they are rich, and he was able to be financed to China. So when you are able to be financed to China, it means that you are rich. In Ghana,
you are rich. No, not in Ghana. Even in Nigeria, you are rich. You have something,
so you
to
don't
finance
have
your
that money
study.
to go to China, and then you come and tell us that you are poor. It's a lie. In Ghana, when the place where Wadamaya is coming from and the kind of lifestyle they were living, they were considered rich people in Ghana. You understand? And they owned what do you call it? A cocoa farm.
He owned
farm. So if you own a cocoa farm in Ghana, you are not a poor man. You understand what I'm saying? How many people own cocoa comes in Ghana. Ask
Uh,
yourself,
many,
in Ghana, you can count the rich people. In Ghana, when you come to Ghana, you can start counting the rich people. But the poor people, you cannot count them because the poor people are like 95% of the population in Ghana. You understand? People don't have food to eat. When they wake up in the morning, they pray, they want breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They pray for it. So you just imagine, Waramaya, when you are showing the good side, show the bad side so that people who are going there with their money to invest, they will take a good decision. You take 200 do $200 for consultancy. Wadamaya, you take $200 for consultancy, you cannot tell them the truth. You cannot
you
tell
see,
them the truth. You take their
me-
money, but you won't tell
I'm,
them the truth. You only tell them that when they go there, life is heaven there. Tell them the truth.
I'm
You are
what
taking
I'm what
$200.
I'm waiting for him to come to Niger and show the good side of Niger, and I just to show maybe
Yeah,
Niger and
I
Mali, Niger
see.
and Mali and Burkina Faso. You see Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. I'm just waiting for him to show the good side of.
Supreme.
Yeah, we have one brother here. Let me see what he also has for us.
Okay,
Ashley, Alex is Alex Foley, right? Alex
Axel.
Foley.
Alex Foley,
Axel Foley.
Axel,
Axel Foley.
Axel Foley.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay,
Beverly
okay,
Hill Cops.
okay.
What's up, man?
Yeah, what's up? So the topic today, I wanted somebody who is black from Europe or from United States to come and tell us why they define themselves Africans.
Well, I think the thing you have to look at is that these were names that were given by white people. And it's only African Americans who should define who they are. You understand?
Yeah,
Can you hear
yeah,
me?
absolutely. You're right. Yeah, yeah.
Because that name it changed over all the time. It's always Europeans giving the names. They're defining who people are, and that shouldn't be there. Is that's the African Americans should be defining who they are. They're better qualified. But going back to what that brother was saying a while ago with regarding Africa. Uh, uh, and you have been talking about this for a long time, and you got a lot of um, negative comments from others when you were trying to tell us the truth. I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay,
Yeah, I
I
hear
have a
you.
lot
We
of
hear
haters
you.
because I'm saying the truth. I have a lot of haters, and I still have. And you know, the funny thing is, the haters they don't remember that I'm saying the truth, so that is why people hate me. And my channel, they say my channel is not growing because I'm not saying what people want to hear. But I am only saying the truth. I don't care because I don't make any revenue from YouTube. So I come on YouTube to have fun and say the truth. So yeah, sorry, you can
Yeah, but you
continue.
but you've been telling us the same thing. You haven't deviated. You have always been consistent with what you're saying. And you must always remember that when you speak the truth and when you give a view that is your experience, you will always have people trying to pull you down and tell you what you're saying is wrong. A- and
Yeah,
and and that is something we need to stop. That every individual experience is different. If I go to Brazil and I go to a certain part of Brazil, I could only share with you my experience from where I went, what I ate, the people I met. That's my unique experience. And I think sometimes we have to respect people's view on their experiences. But I think you're doing a good job, man, and I enjoy coming on. I enjoy your channel. And
Yeah.
and I like how you even when you express your experience in Brazil, that's your experience. Another person might have another experience.
Yeah.
A guy might go to Brazil just for the ladies, and he will give you his experience. One guy may go to have a family, and he will give you another experience. One guy may go on a vacation to experience the culture and immerse himself in the culture, the music. The experience will be different, and they all went to Brazil. So we have to respect people's experience and their perspective on things, and that's one of the things I notice on YouTube that we don't see a lot. We have to respect people's views.
Yeah, you know, for
Yeah,
them
you
they
are
say
right, but
for
you
them
are
they
right.
say I'm the negative guy. They say I'm completely the
But we
negative guy.
also want to be balanced too. As you said, we have to give both sides. We can't just only show the good side of a country and then the
Yeah,
bad side, because that's misleading. You have to have a
yes,
balanced view.
yes.
Yeah, I wanted. So this was one thing that I asked my viewers. For example, I wanted my viewers to ask me more things about Brazil, if maybe they want the negative side of Brazil, because I also have negative side of Brazil that I want to do it, that I want to bring, so that people will at least see the negative and the what and the positive side, even though the positive side overshadows more of the negative side. But I still wanted to do it, to bring the negative side. But you know, they don't ask some specific questions. Like for example, when they ask the question about Brazil, they mostly ask about the racism side of Brazil, which I personally and the people I know, having been through this kind of what, we haven't had this kind of experience ever since I got here. But I remember that I interviewed one guy from Ghana. He was saying that he went through that racism. So the video is there. So sometimes, you know, it becomes very difficult for me to understand why people didn't go through my videos before, because I brought this guy. I'm going to share the screen and then show you guys the video. There is the video that I said I never had any racism experience. But that guy is from Ghana and he shared his experience saying he had what do you call it? He had a lot of racism experience. I'm going to share what do you call it? I'm going to show you guys the video so that should in case if you want to watch the video,
I
then
I
you have
already I already watched the video. You know, I watched
you
all
watch the
the
video,
video.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't
man, you
have
know,
to
I
show it
watched
again.
since for a long time since
Yes. So me,
I've been
I don't
following
really
you
I
since
don't
the
hide
first time you
anything.
started all this thing.
Yes, I don't hide anything. I make sure I bring, if it is positive and I have questions, I bring and answer them. If it is negative,
Even there is one guy you are talking about, the guy who went to Germany at the end, he returned back to Brazil. You know,
yes,
he
to
went there. Yeah,
Brazil.
yeah, he returned back. The guy you interview him in a restaurant. You remember?
In the restaurant. Yeah, it
Yeah, in
was
the
in a
restaurant.
restaurant that I
Yeah,
interviewed the guy.
that guy. He said
But
he
you
went
see,
there and
the
started
thing
working.
is,
He said there is money there, but the he does. I think he didn't enjoy the place, and he said that he returned. He decided to return back to Brazil,
he came back to Brazil. He's still
and
in Brazil. That guy is
yeah,
still in
yeah,
Brazil. Yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
That
Supreme,
one,
I have
that
Okay,
video is for a long time.
this is another video here.
No,
Let
but
me.
I
I'm going to
understand it because
share.
he speak Hausa. I understand Hausa. He speak it
Yes,
in Hausa. You translate it. I
yes. I'm going to share the video with you
But
guys.
he said there is work. You know, he said there is work. You asked him if the problem is work. He said no, there is work, but the pay and all this. Now you just advise him that this is how he started for the beginning before you know everything. You cannot come. You can't just move from this country to another country and start making a lot of money. So you have to be patient. You know.
Okay, we have Afriscope TV also. Africop TV. We are listening to you. What do you say? What is your opinion on what we are discussing about everything? It can be about the main topic, or it can be about any of the views that you also have.
Yeah, greetings. Vanraba. So I've been listening carefully. I understand your narrative regarding what the Maya, but at the end of the day, I realize that sometimes we can also be doing the same things that what the Maya is doing without even knowing. You know, what the Maya set off to promote or to change the negative image of. This is from his own description, right? Instead, Wadamaya is a freelance Ghanaian vlogger on a mission to change the negative narrative of Africa by promoting all 54 African countries on the continent by showcasing their culture, lifestyle, and sharing myriads of success stories to keep you inspired. So this is it. he actually stated his aim regarding to why he does what he does. So, recently he has been transitioned quite a lot, and you can see that from the recent interviews that he had with people, especially some of the farmers and things. They also stated their struggles that they face, and how the system is not helping them anyways. So I think if we trying to put that focus on the fact that he's not representing all of us by just promoting the good side, I think it's not gonna work well for him, because that's what he is doing. Basically when he started from China, and maybe because based on the perception that people have about Africa and China,
Africa, yeah.
it's a mission to change that. So I actually, when I really got to when I understand that, or now that I got to understand that, I just never put so much effort on Wadamaya, because I think sometimes we really have to know how to also bring out our views regarding Africa and whatever. It is true. Sometimes I know you do help a lot of continental Africans who wanted to a way out of Africa, right? You kind of help them out with the not really with visa, but you guide them through the processes. So that tells you that you are also themselves. So let's not put the stress on them, because it's gonna be, a lot of people will not understand us, that we are just Africans who were not privileged. Okay, and when somebody is promoting something too much, it makes it look like a lie, when in fact there is a lot of problems that other Africans also face. So I just think that we should just focus on our own, and not really put much stress on Wadam, because people are taking it wrong. They are gonna be like, "Oh, this guy is hating on Wadamai," and they don't know your personal experiences. They don't know that the from where you are talking from is different from where Wadamai is talking from. I mean, even before starting YouTube channel, I don't believe Wadamaya could have started a YouTube channel in Africa. I don't believe so. He was influenced.
Good. That is the point. That is the point. Because if somebody is a YouTuber in Africa, it's not easy. Anyway, I want you to share your YouTube channel to the viewers, so that if you have a channel, so that they can also check out your channel too as well. Because I always want everybody who is a YouTuber, when you are on my channel, please try and then share your channel too as well, so that people can at least go to your channel too and then see what you share with your channel too as well. So please, Africop TV, if you are watching, you can share your channel. You can share your web
Yes, it's still
your channel
Afriscope
too.
TV. Let
No,
me
you can
just
share your page. You can share your page. I will allow the page I will allow it, so that they can see the page too as well. Because I really like not only to promote my channel, but to promote your channel too as well. If you are a YouTuber and you are on my channel, please let me know you are a YouTuber, so that we can also share your channel on my channel, so that people can follow your channel too as well. So
yes,
share
yes,
it, because on StreamYard you can have the access to share your channel too as well, so that I can also share your channel on my channel, so that people can also follow your channel. Because at least we are all learning. It's not all about money on YouTube, but it's about what? It's about learning. Because most of our African YouTubers, most of them are simply on the YouTube channel to make greener. Okay, so I'm going to share the channel here. So guys, this is his channel. This is what Afro Cope TV channel. So if you want some other videos about Africa too, you can check his channel, subscribe to his channel, and also join his channel too as well, support his channel too as well. Because like he says saying negative stuffs about what do you call it, Wadamaya. I'm supposed to limit it. I understand it so much, because he also thought Wadamaya was doing something wrong, but later on he understood much more of what Wadamaya was doing by starting saying he was promoting Africa, so he was supposed to focus more on promoting Africa. I also agree with what Africa TV said. But like I said, also, we have to be a little bit neutral sometimes. When we are promoting something, we have to also remember there are people who are taking loans and they will fall for what we sell on internet. Because the reason why I'm saying this is I have come across a lot of messages from our black people who were born outside Africa who said they came to Africa and they lost a lot. There is one guy who was following my Instagram, my old Instagram handle, and he's from London. That guy went to Africa too. He said before he messaged me, he was telling me he came across my channel after watching Wadamaya's channel too as well. So I told him what was his experience. He said he went there to open what do you call it, a factory, and he lost what do you call it, his tractors. He went with 10 tractors and some other things, but he lost everything. So these are some of the things too. The reason why we want, if you are promoting Africa too, you should at least open up a little bit to the people, especially when they want your guide, because you are bringing the good side of Africa. So when they get in touch with you, please try as much as you can to open up more to them. Don't sell the only sweet side of Africa to them, but rather share the good side and the negative side too, so that they can have an idea. So guys, it's not that I don't hate Wadamaya, but I just want him to better the way he also sells Africa out. Because like our brother says, if he were to be in Africa, he wouldn't be even thinking of starting a channel, because there would be so much on his head that he wouldn't even think of starting a channel. So yeah, Africa TV, that is his YouTube channel. Guys, please don't forget, try and check him out. I'll also check him out. I don't really know that he was having a YouTube channel, so I'm also going there to check it out after our discussion here.
Hey,
Sanusi,
Supreme.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Supreme.
Yeah,
Another thing. Eh, don't get distracted by all the other comments and stuff and the other YouTubers. Um, the people who come to your channel, we come to learn more about Brazil. And if, I mean, you don't have to take my advice, but if every week you have to respond, you're going to be constantly doing it. At some point, you just got to say, look, my objective is the people who are here, they want to know more about Brazil, every aspect of it, and let's focus there.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
good. Yeah, yeah, you are right. Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
want to tell you something. I
yeah.
want
So
to tell you,
I stopped talking about Africa for some
I,
time
I,
now. So I
I tell you,
focus more on the Brazil side. Yeah,
I tell you this, Supreme. I have learned a lot about Brazil, the culture, more than any other channel. A lot of the other Brazilian channel is about ladies. You bring a lot of different aspects to it. You have those individual interviews. You one of the videos you had where you went shopping to buy the fruits and the. You had one where you were traveling. So you bring in different angles of Brazil that I am interested in. To be honest, I don't even want to hear the Guatemala story anymore. It's getting old and stale. But again, this is your channel. It's
yeah.
it's not
You
it's
know,
it's
I
it's not
ordered, I
interesting.
ordered, yeah, I ordered some video vlogging kits that I want to bring some other content about Brazil too as well, because I had a whole lot of questions. In fact, there are a whole lot of questions that I'm getting from most of the viewers, and also there are a lot of Africans who want to travel too as well. So, like our brother Afriscope said, that he knew that I have helped a lot of our African people to travel to South America, because I'm bringing more of the South America, what is going on, jobs, businesses, investment, and also lifestyle in South America in general. I want to share it more. So yeah, don't worry.
Let me ask
Folly,
you.
don't worry. I'll bring
Let me
you more.
let me ask you a question. Beyond
Yeah,
what you do, beyond what you're doing here, have
yeah,
you ever thought about creating a plan where, I mean, some of your subscribers, I mean, uh, when they plan on coming to Brazil, they have you as a contact or something like that,
yeah.
where
I
they,
have. Yes,
where
I have. Yeah, let me keep quiet. Let me
like
keep quiet. Yeah,
places like, for example, the guy just don't want to just jump on a plane and end up somewhere. At least you will set up a good place to stay, the good areas, the form of transportation, places to eat, things of that nature. You don't just want to jump on a plane and next thing you end up in a bad place. You know
in a
that
bad
that's
place.
gonna
Yeah,
that's gonna be a horrible vacation. So I was wondering, seeing that you have us coming here and we always in conversation, if you have had ever thought about putting something together. So let's say, for example, a year from now, I want to go to Brazil. I can say, you know what? Let me contact Supreme. He'll give me some heads up and give me a good start. You know what I mean? Have you ever thought about that?
yeah. Yeah, in the beginning, I thought about it, but because of the COVID, that was
Okay.
why because when I thought of it, I went and buy a house
Okay.
Yeah,
specifically. I bought the house specifically for
yeah,
the
I
kind of
remember that at the time when you
yeah, you
talk about
remember,
it.
right?
Yeah, I
Yes,
remember time you talk
I
about
went
it.
and
Yeah,
buy the house
for a
specifically
long time. Yeah.
because of yeah. So I bought the house. Even the house is there empty till now. I bought the house specifically for this kind of what do you call it, vacation, and also getting to know Brazil and stuff like that. I bought the house just to welcome people who want to know more about Brazil, and even I have met a lot of my viewers who came to Brazil. I met a lot recently. I met one from Switzerland. I took him to the restaurant and we had some good time over there. He said he wanted to eat Nigerian food. I picked him up from the airport. I picked the viewer from the airport. I took him to his hotel room. I took him to the restaurant. He ate. He had some good time. So I met a lot of my viewers. I don't take even nothing. I didn't take nothing from. If you
And
know most of my viewers, they will tell you that when they met me, I took nothing from them. I
and
don't
and
even request anything. Most of the time, if I say bring me something, I make sure I have my money to pay. But I haven't even gotten anything from any of my viewers because sometimes it's because of the time. Sometimes you don't know if the person really have the money to buy something to bring you or something. So most of the time when I'm asking my viewers, I say I want this thing. When you bring it, I'll pay you. So let me know how much it is when you bring it. But even though with that, I haven't gotten any like let me just say anything from any viewer apart from maybe if I meet them. There is one guy from Atlanta, I think, yeah, Atlanta. He was here. I did a video with him too as well. I took him around and all that. Like most of my viewers, I have never even taken a dime from them. I even thought of them and I bought a house just just to accommodate my viewers, and when they come around, I can take them around, I can pick them from the airport and stuff like that. But as you said, I'm going to plan that. I'm going to create I'm going to create a WhatsApp platform for that. So if anybody wants to come to Brazil and want a help, a guide, I'm going to start charging for that.
yeah, and that's fine, and that's fine. For Supreme. I mean, I don't think
Yeah,
people want anything for free, but you know, even though you're far away from us, there's a connection, and
yeah,
you come across as a positive and a likable person. So people always want to interact with people that has that good nature, that type of, so
yeah,
I personally think that would be such a good idea. I mean,
yeah. Don't worry. I'm going to do that because I think I'll be expecting one of my viewers. I think this month.
but I think
I'll be,
I think it's going to be a lot of fun being with you, Supreme.
yeah, yeah. I'm expecting. I'm going to take you to restaurants and stuff like that. So don't worry about that.
All
I'll be
right, man.
looking forward to see you guys here in Brazil. And also, anybody who wants to get in touch with me, I have a Telegram platform where you can simply get in touch with me. But I'm planning to start a WhatsApp group too as well, because there are people who specifically want to get my contact number. So I will create that. But I just started with a Telegram, and it's just going on well. We have
Is the house
conversation
still
on the
available? Did you sell the
yeah.
house or it's available? It's
No,
available the
it's
house.
there. It's I
Okay.
just it's the house is still available. It's
Turn
still
it into
there.
the R&B, man. Airbnb.
Yes, when you come, I'll take you to the house. You see the house. The house is there. It's empty. My wife recently said we should give it out for renting, because I have there is internet, light, everything there. There is nobody there, and I'm paying the bills every month. So she said we should plan on giving the house for rent until I decide on doing something with the house. But the house is there empty. It's there empty.
Eh,
And
have some good Brazilian cebesa. Ice
yes, well,
cold.
yes, there is one particular ice cream that I want to introduce to my viewers when they come here. We call it acai. It's one of the. It's just fantastic. I will do a special video for that. I'm going to do a special video for that ice cream. I love it so much, and I want all my viewers, when they come to Brazil, they should enjoy that ice cream too as well. Let
I
me
have a,
go through the comment section. You can ask me a question. You can
I have
still
a
ask me a
question.
question.
I have one more question for you. Is it very expensive compared to other parts of Brazil, popular parts of Brazil where you live?
Okay, Brasilia is quite expensive compared to other part of Brazil. For example, if you are a viewer who want to relocate to Brazil, I will recommend Goiás. I will recommend Goiás. It's one of the cheapest and one of the
This is
safest, one of the sweetest, one of the lovely places in Brazil too as well. But they don't have beach.
Do you have an international
In
airport
Goiás.
nearby?
Yes, they have international airport in Goiás too as well.
Okay.
So I did a video about Goiás. I think I went there with my wife and my children some
Yeah,
time ago. I think last early this year. Yeah, early this year.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
in
Last
February.
time you went there with your wife and all
Yeah,
on
you
and your
saw
kids.
the
Yeah,
video, right?
yeah, yeah. You
And
went
I said
there
I
and
was
they
going
have
to buy a property.
some. Yeah, it's a nice place too. But the
Yes,
place looks like a forest.
yes, yeah. It looks like a forest. Yes, I
Yeah.
wanted to buy a property there too as well. Yeah,
Because
so
there is a
guys.
lot of grass. There is a lot of green grass out
Yeah,
there.
there is a
That
lot of
some.
green grass. There is a lot of green. Like
Yeah,
it is a complete
yeah.
area where, like, when you go, you will feel at home. It is a very small city, like a
Yeah,
very small
but it's
city.
a state. It's a state in Brazil. It's a state.
Yeah, it is actually what do you call it? In a state called Goiás.
How do you spell that in English?
Why is
Goiás.
Goiás?
G O. It is Goiás. Goiás.
Goias. Yeah, I'm gonna do some research after.
Yeah, do just type is GO state of
How
Brazil.
far is that?
But
How
it's
far
not
is
far
that
from
from Rio?
Brazil.
How far is it
Yeah,
from
it's not
Rio?
far from Brasilia. It's not far from Brasilia.
It's
It's
Okay.
not far
actually
from Brazil.
yeah, it's not, because it is where most of the people from here we call it Brazilians. People from Brasilia, we call them Brazilians. So most of the Brazilians, they spend their holidays in Goiás, because it's
Do you have a
like
lot?
1 hour drive. It's like
Do you
one
have a
hour
lot of?
drive.
Do you have like a lot of scorpions and stuff? Because I'm afraid of critters like
In
scorpions.
Brasilia, we have a lot of scorpions, but we
Oh my
have
god!
there is a particular area where they have a lot of scorpion. I will show you that.
No,
But
Man,
Supreme.
here,
No,
let me
man,
Supreme.
you are
No.
afraid of scorpion. Man, invite him to Africa. I will show him scorpions here in Africa. There are plenty, thousands, millions of scorpions in Africa.
no,
Millions.
in Brasilia we have a
Here's
lot
the
of scorpion.
problem. You
Yeah, yeah.
sleeping and then the stuff wakes you up. That's the
No,
problem.
Man,
but here they don't wake you up. They don't wake you up. Here they don't wake you up, but you will see them.
Gosh.
But
Oh,
like we have towns where we have a lot of them. We have towns where we don't have them. Like for example, where I live here, it's very difficult to see scorpion here. But we have some area. The place where I took the guy from Switzerland to eat. The place is called Azasu. That place they have a lot of scorpions. They have a
What?
lot of it. I don't know why, but they have a lot of scorpion in that particular
How do
area.
you get rid of those guys?
Oh, normally, we have what do you call it? Some kind of spray.
Well, okay,
They,
good,
they
thanks.
don't like. Let me show you this. Let me show you. Let me show you. There is a spray here on top of
Oh
my.
my God, Scorpion! Oh my
This
God!
is this this
Today I see
spray.
someone who is afraid of Scorpion. Oh my God!
No,
This one here.
no, Sansui. From what I heard,
Yeah.
they when they
So
sting
if you have
you,
this kind of
they
spray,
leave a
you are
poison in your body. That's what I heard.
oh,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah,
this
yeah,
one
right, yeah.
here, the scorpions we have here, they don't kill.
Are, are they poisonous?
They are poisonous, but they don't kill.
Supreme,
They are
supreme.
poisonous. So trust
No,
me.
no, look,
Trust
look. Not all, not all scorpion are poison. There are some scorpion who can kill. That we have dangerous one, and we have there are different types of scorpion. It depends on, but the dangerous one it can kill, but the other one cannot kill. But you will pay the price, man.
Yeah,
That's it.
I can't stand critters, man.
Yeah. So today's topic again, let's get back to the topic where Black Americans say they are African Americans. So I am going to read some comment here. We have a comment from Elo. Let me see. His name is Elo Indupu. He says, "Don't black Brazilians call themselves African Brazilians or Afro Brazilians? How do you feel about that?" They are black Brazilians. I don't like I said. Me as an African, when somebody say he's Afro Brazilian, I don't agree with it. I directly tell them that they are not Afro Brazilians, but they are what? They are black Brazilians. I made it very, very clear. I remember I met some few of them. They were like they are called Afro Brazilians, and I told them, "You people are not Afro Brazilians, but rather you people are what? You people are you are black Brazilians." You understand? So me, when I meet them and they say they are Afro Brazilian, I normally like to correct them because they are not from Africa. They are simply from Brazil. They were born in Brazil. Their parents are from Brazil, and they are Brazilians. So they are black people from Brazil. So I like to make it very, what do you call it? Very clear. Kimuntu Bier say, I have come across like or prefer to be called Black Americans, while others love to be called African American. Yeah, it is true. There are, for example, I have some viewers who prefer to be called Black Americans than African American. Like this last comment here from one of my viewer. She says she prefer being called Black American than Black American. Than, let me see here. This is the comment here. She says, "I don't call myself an African American. I am Black American. The term African American is completely inaccurate." So it's inaccurate. If you look at it, you can tell that it's not accurate to call somebody African American. Matifi says juju. Where is juju? Juju is actually something that we do. It is black magic. In Ghana, when somebody says juju, it means black magic. Okay, in Ghana, we call it juju means black magic in Ghana. So it is something that we practice. I don't really know if in the Western world our black people to have this kind of tradition or they have this kind of practices over there. Foley, I don't know if you have this kind of traditions over there too as well. So
I
if you
think that,
have it, you can also share it with us.
I think some parts of the Caribbean have voodoo on if the English speaking Caribbean islands, and I think the Spanish speaking part of the Caribbean and Latin America have something called Santa Maria, but I do not dabble in that stuff, man. I stay away from that stuff.
Why are you scared?
I don't know if that stuff. I don't know if it works. You know, some people say it works, but I don't.
No,
It's not my thing.
okay. Somebody is even asking, how do you practice it? How do you practice voodoo? Okay, I can give you a little tip of how to practice voodoo. So if you want to start it, then you can also simply start it. But it is something that is real. It is real. I'm going to teach you guys how to start practicing voodoo. So
I
if
want
you
to make
want to
more
start,
money. I want more money, man. Give me
you
the
want more
skill.
money. Okay, first thing first, let me teach you how to do it. First, look for any object. Any object, any object. You can get even your favorite object. Or if there is object that you are scared of, you can get the object. When you get the object, what you have to do is you have to feed the object every day. Every day you feed the object. You are going to choose how you want to feed the object. You can feed the object with water, you can feed the object with blood. But if you start feeding the object with blood, then therefore it's going to happen quicker.
Wow.
When you, yes, every day you feed the object with blood and then you talk to the object. Just be talking to the object and feeding the object with blood. When you do that, there is a natural spirit that will come and then possess that object. So when the object is being possessed, then now you can start working with the object. But remember, the object will start demanding some other things from you. Yes, they will demand things from you. You will see them, they will reveal themselves. So if you are not confident about yourself, you are not the kind of person who is confident, you can go mad. Yes, you can go mad or you can die.
I want to stay
Because
with the Bible. I want to stay with the Bible, man.
so yes, so I can
I
teach
wanna
you
stay-
guys more things. I can
no,
simply teach you more
that's
things.
enough. That's enough. That's enough.
You see, so if anybody want to know more about the voodoo, because I know a whole lot of people think there is voodoo in Brazil, there is voodoo in the Caribbean, but the voodoo they practice in Caribbean and Brazil, it is just a mere voodoo. Okay, it's just a mere voodoo, and the real voodoo is what we practice in Africa. That one we call it the dark voodoo, and most of it in Ghana we use it to kill people. We don't use
Why
it to
haven't
do good things.
let me ask you a question. If this thing is so powerful, why
Yeah,
haven't you guys used that to drive the Europeans out of Africa?
yeah, they did it. They did it. But let me tell you one secret about we. Most of us West Africans, most of us West Africans, we prefer to see each other down than to use it to grow. It's like the
Okay.
tribal war. When the European came to Africa, we were using black magic to kill each other, but we
Mm.
didn't use it to attack the Europeans. Why? Because my tribe, I wanted my tribe to be on top. So when the European came, we were together with the European to what? To conquer the other tribe. Instead of we coming together to conquer the Europeans, we didn't do that. We used the black magic to do what? To conquer each ourselves. Afroscope, do you have any idea about this thing that I'm saying? Is Afroscope TV on?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, so what we are diving into this matter. So I want you to tell us, what is your idea of we
Yeah,
not
and
using the black
voodoo
magic
sometimes is an
to
ancestral spirit that is passed down to um your generations. It's like an ancestral. The most part of it is ancestral. The ones that we see a representation of an image and whatsoever is just an addition to that, right? Yeah. where they demanding things in a before they can do whatever you want, you ask for them or you ask of them, right? But most generally the traditional form is ancestral this thing. But I think my ancestors, the last ancestor who was practicing voodoo from my mother the ever side, he was a diviner. He was both voodoo and afa, we call it afakala,
Ah,
meaning
so you are ever.
my mom, through my mom on my
Look,
grandmother's side, my dad is
let me
Congo.
tell you this. All my best friends, listen, all my best friends that I have had in my life are Evers. If you don't believe it, I even had one here in Brazil. He's living in Canada today. I don't know, but I have only connected with Evers ever since I was in Ghana. And even when I was here, automatically I was connected to one. So I don't really, I don't really know the secret. But anyway, you can continue.
Yeah, so so like my grandfather, my let me guess, my grandmother's dad, that was the last person who stopped practicing when he died from the practice. Back then in the village, people were adopting Christianity. They saw it as the ultimate form of religion, and so they refused to practice it. So they had to just bury my great let me just say my great grandfather with all the possessions. So that was when it ended. But back from him and onwards, it was purely voodoo and whatever. Yes, so they do a little bit of herbal. They do a little bit of divination. They do a little bit of a lot of things. A lot. They can even give you powers to fight, powers to trade, powers to travel. They can give you all of that, but
But
it comes with
isn't
yeah,
that
it comes with a it comes with you have to really you have to be a little bit devoted. There are things you wouldn't do when you have some of the powers, like some of the powers you maybe to fight. You are not supposed to sleep with a woman who is in the menses. Some of the powers to travel. There is also some guidelines to it. So that is so it's a religion. You have to abide by certain. Sometimes you don't have to eat certain foods. So you have to be careful who feeds you and all of those things, so that you will never go against the God you are serving. Because when you go against them, they intervene direct. Voodoo is very strict. That is why a lot of people actually the real reason a lot of people don't want to practice voodoo is because it's strict. And when you go against it once, you have to immediately pay for it. If you don't pay for it, you are dying, or your families are also gonna follow the suit. So that is why a lot of people find it dangerous, and they it's just not, that's why we don't no more we don't practice it anymore. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
I want to stick with the
yeah,
Bible.
just just a second. Brian, you know that this topic particularly was raised by one of my viewers called Brian. When you look at the comment section, he's right there. He's called Just Call Me Brian. And he's running away.
I
He
know,
was
Brian.
supposed to, you know,
I know.
Brian, right? he
So
is he is actually a vampire from New Orleans.
What?
So I told him, yeah, he's a vampire from New Orleans. So I told him if I come to New Orleans, I want to become a vampire. So he Brian is a vampire from New Orleans. So he was the reason why today I wanted to do this live. But he's running away because he cannot stand me. Yeah, he knows that he knows that I am from Africa and he cannot stand me. So he's running away from the live video. And I don't want him to run. So Brian, if you at least you can come and then talk for like maybe 1 minute before you go. come come and just come and explain to us why do you call yourself African American? Because you are black American. Yeah,
But I have a
great.
question regarding that African
Yeah.
American and Black American. The reason I will actually want that name African American is because the fact that there hasn't even been reparation done to the descendants of enslaved African. And number two is that they also have if today they take their DNA, it still connect them to us. And I took my 23 and me DNA some yeah, I did a couple of videos on that. You can check them out, where I
You
found
did some videos on it.
yes, so
I'll go and check it out. I'll go and check it out.
I found a lot of my I didn't show them though because of privacy. Uh, I found a lot of the DNA cousins all across the state. Most of them are across the states. A lot of them followed by the Jamaica, Haiti, Brazil, Curacao, and a lot of those countries all are in even Guyana and all of those places.
Guyana,
Some,
yeah.
some of them actually descended directly from we descend from the same great grandfather because we even had the same haplogroup. Some of them from my grandmother's side. So you could see that they still have that. They still have something to call to actually claim Africa, because if they are to
But
contact me,
yeah, but don't you think now that they are not born in Africa, they are born in Caribbean, in the United States, in Europe. Don't you think is the best for them to define themselves as blacks instead of trying to give that label Africa to themselves? Because
yeah, that's what
talking,
I said.
just a second. There is a comment. There is a comment. Brian was the one who brought it up. So I'll show you guys the comment. The reason why I'm doing this topic, because I asked him why did they accept themselves to be called black, sorry, African American, and this is what he said. Let me share the group. There is the conversation from the group. Okay, just a second, then you can continue on what you want to say. So this was yesterday. Can you guys see it? Can you guys see it? You can see the conversation, right, guys, on the Telegram. I shared the screen. So this was it. He says that the man I was asking. Let me see here. I said here it's quite hard to tell who is really white when no. This was what he was asking, but I made a comment. He said they became white when they encountered the other racial groups. Uh, but I wanted you guys to see the part where he said, "Okay," he said, "I can talk all day how American Africans don't want to be identified as Africans, but you know what? Even as Africans don't like each other." Oh no, this one is another guy who responded. Okay, this was Brian's comment here. He says what? Here is a thing. There would not be America or even Brazil without African ingredients in various societies in the Americas. Also, blacks in the Western Hemisphere in the Americas made their mark as scientists, politicians, businessmen, business people, and of course, entertainment. Having said that, in the Americas, no one can lay claim to this region unless you are okay. This is another thing. But he said the white people were the one who brought the label. You understand? So if the white people label black Americans as African Americans, why do they have to accept it? That's what I don't understand. Because they said that the white people were the one who labeled them as African American. So I don't understand it. But you were talking Afro.
Similarly, we were also named Africans, not because that's our we are called Africans. Africans in Ever or in Ghana or Krobo, I never met any word called African before. So it's also
Yeah,
from them, anyways. So I just say that it's just an easy way for them to kind of
identify.
identify our with our history and also with Yeah, they're fine. But actually, when it comes to America, if it's not for the racial classification, right, I will be like, okay, they should just call everybody American. They should just call everybody American. No black, no white. But over there, they have racial classification. When you fill in application forms over there, even in schools, they'll write black slash African American slash African, and they'll write white, and these are people considered from let me just say Iberia, Europe, and they classified all those places. Then they'll come under, they'll say Asian. You see, so if it's not for that classification, then I'll be like, okay.
So there's another question. Why didn't they classify themselves to be white European? European Americans.
Yeah, everybody knows that is probably an agenda. They have an agenda to it. They want to claim America without people questioning their their claim. So it's easier for them to be white in America.
Yeah, it makes 100% sense. But I think we shouldn't. I think we should come up with the agenda that we are not going to accept the word Africa to be used to recognize us.
But
so what did we do? So I'm confused.
Do you like the word black? I don't really like the word black because I don't think I'm black. I'm brown.
So in Ghana, to when you come to Ghana, we have tribes, right? We have tribes. So it's another question. But anyway, it is good that you also shared the little that you have with us, and I'm really, really happy. At least we have learned a lot from each other. Foley, do you have something to add to it, or Sanusi, do you also have something to add to what we are talking about?
I don't have anything to talk about it because American was I think America, for me, what I say that America is a racist country, so that's it. That's how they are doing their thing. So
yes.
Yeah, they are calling people different names, like Black American, all these kind of things, which we don't have. Even now in Africa, back in days we have all these tribe issues, but now we don't have it a lot compared to back in the days. You understand? Now in Tama we are marry each other. We don't have different like Fulani marry Fulani, Hausa marry Hausa. Now Fulani marry Hausa, Hausa marry Fulani. And even Ghana, all these three Asante, all these kind of tribes, they are marrying each other. We don't have that kind of thing right now. Yeah, back in days we have it a lot, but now it's reducing. But not like in America. Now America, instead for America as a superpower. I don't know. Every day they are killing this thing, attacking this thing. People are dying just by mistake. They mistake you, and shot you. Look, last time I was on Al Jazeera. They say that American has they released, I think 2020. The guns they have. The guns are more than people. There are plenty, a lot of guns there. You understand? People. Yeah. But I don't know why they buy all this. If it's compulsory for you to have guns so that to take care of yourself. So where is police? Where is all this? And what are they doing? You understand? So I don't know the reason why they have police people and all these kind of things.
Yeah, maybe Foley can answer this question. Foley, can you answer this question to us? If we have police people.
I believe the Constitution in America says it's legal to bear arms, but you got to go through the right procedures to have it. So I think it's part of the Constitution.
Look at the Constitution. Look at the disadvantage. But they are killing people. Many people last time, even small boys like let me tell you, 7-year-old boy will take gun and shoot you just like that, man. Even Africa, it's impossible for you. You can't have a gun in Africa like that. Even your neighbor see you with your gun, he will report you to the police. Yeah,
but
the police will come and catch you.
Yeah, but the movies too. The movies celebrate that type of stuff. You know, you see in the movies how they spray people, and it's like
Yeah,
cool to have that and stuff. But those things have consequences. People die, innocent kids die, innocent people die. You know. So let me
yeah. So
ask you, Supreme,
yeah.
is it legal to have a gun in or is it difficult to have a purchase a gun or own a gun legally in Brazil?
Okay, so this is one of the videos that I wanted to do, the negative side of Brazil. So I'm going to prepare a video on that one, but I'm going to answer it instantly here. Here you can own a gun, okay, but there are places where you are authorized to own a gun. Like if you live in a farm, you can simply own a gun. If you live in the cities like where I live, there are strong rules for you to get the gun. But people have guns. We have a lot of guns than even what do you call it? Than what is more popular than what is more
Look,
popular?
Supreme Leader, America has more guns than any country in the world. America
Yes,
has more
but
guns
here
than
people have a lot of
us.
guns too. Yeah, people have.
But even
That's
last time
one
I watched
negative thing about Brazil. If you have problem with somebody, they can simply get a gun and then shoot you here too as well. Because here gun is very easy to have. You understand? Like you can buy cheap guns. You can just own gun, but to go through the correct channel to own a gun here is not easy. But people have it illegally. And one of the saddest thing here is when you shoot or you kill somebody, you don't go to jail for a long time. You understand? But this is another video that I'm going to prepare for you guys because people want to know the negative side of Brazil too as well. So I will make sure I prepare the videos because last, let me say last month, there is a place where I normally buy bread. I normally go to, it's a bakery that I normally go and buy bread over there. They kill one guy follow one guy. He was running and then he entered inside a bakery. The guy entered inside a bakery and then shoot the guy like 6 times inside a bakery and then walk out and went away. Why did he shoot the guy? Because the guy bought a drug and the guy didn't pay him the drug, so he killed the guy.
that's
So
it, man.
we have a lot of negative
That's
things
business.
too here. You understand? Yeah, so there is a lot of negative things here. Here,
All
people
eh,
own guns here too. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
Tanzania. Somebody,
Tanzan, yes.
yeah, Tanzan. Yeah,
Greetings.
Tanzan, you are on.
Yes, thank you. Greetings.
You are
Um,
welcome, Tanzan.
Greetings. Yeah.
I like
yes,
the name too.
greetings, Fisco.
The name is Tanzan. I like the name. Okay, yeah, you can talk.
Okay, so answering the question for today, I say that the reason why Black Americans call themselves African Americans, and actually they started calling themselves Africans, I think very early, maybe in the early like 1810s, 1820s. There was like the African missionary church, inland church. There was the African Methodist, and they had some small groups when they were trying to build their community. So the reason why they call themselves African Americans is because in fact they used to call themselves Africans in America because they knew that they came from Africa as from the board slaves, etc. And also because for a long time, they were not even citizens of America, so they couldn't really call themselves Americans. But they always knew that they came from Africa, and a lot of them still had that historical ties to it. So, and then recently, the reason why, and then they went through the names. You know, they used to be called Negroes for some time, and then Coloreds also. And I think in the 1980s or something, they started to reclaim. And I say reclaim because they used to claim that before, so they just reclaimed it again. And they said, you know, they're not just black because black is just a color. They wanted to be identified with the place, which is America, but also the original place, which is Africa. So I think it's just from that connection that they feel with Africa. That's why, you know, not all of them, but some of them, the ones who feel a connection with Africa, some of them call themselves African Americans.
Okay, so there is another question for you. You gave a very tangible reason and tangible answer to us, but I still have a question for you as an African, just like me. I don't know if you are African, but let me just say you are African, just like me.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, which country are you from?
Kenya.
Kenya. Okay, perfect. All right. So, me as an African, my question to you, to the tangible answer that you gave, is: don't you think if they are born, or if they were born in a different land, they are strictly from that side to label themselves with it? Like, for example, do you think I can claim to be a Kenyan Ghanaian because Kenya is on the same land with Ghana, like it's on the same continent with Ghana?
Only if maybe one of your parents was from Kenya, and so you could say that, or maybe you were born in Kenya and you lived there for a long time, so you feel that's your other home, but your parents are originally from Ghana and you were born in Kenya, for example. Some people might regard themselves as, belonging to two identities. And the other thing is, sometimes, you see, for us, if you're born in Africa, that's your land, that's the land of your people, and so on. Even if they came there, you know where they're from. So we can really claim a lot of the country because that's the land of our ancestors. But I think for them, it's harder to claim. Even though they're born here, it's harder for them to claim here because they know that maybe they're born here, their fathers, but the original, if they go back far enough, somebody in their family was born in Africa, and it's not more than maybe 6 or 7 generations, 400 years. What's that? Yeah. So I think that's the reason, because even if sometimes you don't really feel total connection to the land you're born in. You might be born in America, but you feel that your original roots are in Africa. So I think that's why they're trying to claim both, because some of the roots are here and some of them, the longer roots, are in Africa.
Yeah, but you were talking about roots. And the reason why, so therefore, because of the roots, that is why they label themselves, some of them label themselves to be African American. But to me as an African, I don't see them, I don't really consider that labeling to be something that is supposed to be like used to identify them, because for me as an African, I see them to be Black people who look like me, and they are not from Africa. So I find it very offensive. Let me just say this: I find it very offensive if they say they are African Americans, if they were not born here in what do you call it, in Africa. Because if I go to America or the United States, they'll definitely, even if I naturalize, they won't call me African American. They will still label me to be African. You understand what I'm saying? So it's complicated.
Okay, let me ask you something real quick before I answer that one. So you say that they are Black, we all look alike, they're Black like us, right? So can we Africans call ourselves Blacks?
Yes, because we are Blacks.
So we are both Black, us and them, we're both Black, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We are Black like them, but we are Black Africans. So they are Black.
That's the reason why they call themselves Africans, because they say we are Black like these Africans. Why can't we be Africans?
You understand the confusion now.
Yeah, but that's why that's the reason why they say it, because we are both Black. Why should you be African and we are both Black? So now you understand why.
It is confusing. It is confusing. But would you do you still accept the fact that they want to be called African American, or you prefer them to be called Black Americans? Which one do you prefer?
I think both are fair. I think I can accept Black, that's the technical, and Africa is the, somebody has a bit of
Hold on a second. Let me off the camera. I think somebody's camera is interrupting. Okay, is it okay now?
Yeah, that better. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. So for me, I think both terms are equally acceptable. The reason why I accept them to be to call themselves African Americans is because the only reason why they are black like us is why our fault.
Okay, so you are not racist. So so you are not racist. So guys, she's not racist, so she doesn't want to have any problem with anybody. So
with my people.
So do you think I'm racist?
I think you're prejudiced because
So you think I'm prejudiced?
yes, against your own people.
But do you realize that when they come to Africa, do you realize that we still differentiate them with us?
Yes.
Have you realized that?
You know
because
how
we are living in Kenya, so most definitely you have seen a lot of African Americans coming to Kenya. How is the treatment like?
Well, Africans, we just
I just want you to be real a little bit, please.
Yes.
I know you are not racist. You are not prejudiced. Yeah.
Okay. As we welcome everybody. Everybody is free to come. You as a Ghanaian, you can come. Then everybody can come. Nigerians can, even Nigerians can come.
but have you had the experience where a different Kenyan is trying to label Black American, because I am a prejudice, so I would say have you ever seen or had that kind of experience where somebody from Kenya is differentiating between the blackness of America and the blackness of Kenya?
Of course.
Because I would
but
say,
you know what?
yeah.
That is it. It makes them even more African than that, because if we do that with each other, Africans are very tribal, very, very tribal. Even a Kenyan sees another Ugandan or a Tanzanian, you already know, even from another tribe within the country, you already know that person is from this tribe.
So automatically, you say that automatically you have defined us Africans, right?
Yes.
So if the Black Americans are watching this channel, now they will understand that majority of us Africans are prejudices.
Yes.
Yes. Because you are not. For you say they are welcome.
I have transcended.
You don't have a problem with them. But for instance, you just said it. You said when somebody from Kenya he sees somebody from Uganda, they are quick to know that no, this guy is a Ugandan. They don't simply identify them as like African or maybe the black guy. You understand? They identify them based on the country that they are coming from.
Yes.
So therefore you have had that kind of experience with
yes. And even when people came here, they would tell them, "But you're not African. You're not African. Where in Africa are you from? You're not African." And that.
Have you ever been to South Africa before?
No, I've met some South Africans, but I haven't been.
Okay, so this is another experience that I'm going to share with you. I remember when I went to South Africa, they look at me. They confuse me actually. They look at me and they tell me, "You are from Africa, right?" And I said, "Yes, I'm from Africa." And I asked them, "Where are they from?" They said they are from South Africa.
You know what? We do that in Kenya too.
Africa and South Africa.
We do that too.
They say, listen, they don't say, when I ask them the difference, they say that place is called Zanzi.
It's called what?
that place is called Zanzi.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so they were given the name South Africa by the white people. So it is not South Africa, it is Zanzi. So I became much more confused. So this is why I was asking you the question that would you feel comfortable if somebody from the United States says they are African American, or you rather feel comfortable when they say they are Black American? But you made you declared your stand. You
Yes.
said
Peaceful stance.
I have a
peaceful, very
question, guys.
peaceful stance. But I see Mr. Uganda is
I have
right
a
there.
question.
Mr.
I have a
Uganda, I think Mr. Uganda is also from the United States, right? Or from England. I think Mr. Uganda is from England, right?
It's Supreme.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question to you and to the lady.
Okay. I first I want you to ask the lady first. So
Okay.
ask the lady first.
What is her name so I can address her correctly?
Tanzan.
Hi, Tanzan. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I have a question. Are you living in Tanzania or outside of the country?
In the US.
Okay. From your experience or what you know of what you've heard, is it difficult for an African American man or a woman to marry an African? Which is easier, the man marrying an African woman or the woman marrying an African American?
I think it's easier for an African man to marry an African American woman than the other way around.
Inside Africa or both inside and outside of Africa?
Outside, it's easier for both, because inside I think people generally just marry within each other. But okay, actually, let me make the differentiation. For inside Africa, it's easier for an African American man to marry an African woman. So inside, the African American men have the advantage. On the outside, the African men have an advantage. The African men in America find it easier for them to marry African American women.
Okay. Does the economics have a part to play in that, or it doesn't matter?
I think it's more of the image. I think it's more of an image thing. Because when Black Americans come to Africa, they have this image of, oh, you're an American, that's so cool, all these things.
Okay, the swab and the clothes.
Yes.
Okay, I understand.
Yes. And then when African men go to America, African American women like, the African, the Mandingo, the, all that Africanness.
So the African American, let's say the African American guy goes to Africa, and you say they love that image, the music, the way he carries himself, and all that. So if he goes to a nice fancy club, he will be the prize then.
Yes, he will, once they know, because some of the African Americans, they also look like Black people, regular Africans. So unless he opens his mouth and says something, or he has like something distinctive, yeah.
So he walks into the club, he's all groomed, dressed nicely and stuff like that. I'm assuming by the time he entered that door, all the eyes will be heading to the door.
Not
once he opens his mouth.
Yes, if he's flashy and all that, he'll just get that just from that, just in the general. If a guy has it, he'll get it, but he'll get that extra once he starts speaking. Once he has, yeah.
Well, he gets some cool points, so to speak.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
And in terms of the marriage, I'm assuming.
Can I just say there's a bit of a rustle or an echo or something on your phone?
Wait, hold on. Is it this better?
Yes. I was trying.
Sorry about that.
It's
But
okay.
in terms of the marriage, if the African American goes over there, the ceremony is going to be performed in the African way, not the African American way, or a combination. How is that going to be done? Or again, is the economics that dictate? Let's say, for example, the guy is a doctor, a medical doctor in America. He goes over, he marries maybe someone of his stature, maybe an engineer or a school teacher or university or a nurse or something. and so he's coming with the money and stuff like that. Who dictates the ceremony? Is it a mix, or we going to do the African way?
Actually, nowadays people are doing two weddings. I know, especially in Nigeria, they have the first wedding is the first one is traditional, and then the next one is the Western, or the other way around. I can't remember, but
That's
yeah.
new. Okay.
Yeah, so they usually do the traditional one. In fact, after you do the traditional one, you're practically married. But for formality and for show, they would some of the people would do the formal wedding. So the informal one is, but it's ours is not so much a wedding as it's a process to the wedding. Like the wedding is the last part of the whole arrangement. Usually it's with the family, they get together, they talk, the elders, and
Oh, the
traditionally,
elders. Okay. Wow.
it's a
So
big
the
family
African,
affair.
so the African American man has to go to the elders and ask for the lady hand. Is that how it
Yes,
works?
yes,
Okay.
yes. By the
I,
time he gets to the day of the wedding, he will be very familiar with a lot of people, and the customs and So
that stuff that might be a little scary at first. Two
at
cultures,
first, yeah.
two
Oh my
cultures,
goodness.
yeah, trembling to the knees.
That's your test of
Right, right. But
of marriage. Yes,
overall speaking, what is again, you from Tanzania,
Kenya.
Kenya, what is the overall view and forget what the media says about us, forget the movies. What are Africans or people from your country view of black people outside of Africa? You have people in the Caribbean, you have people in Brazil, you have people in America. What's their overall view? How do they feel about people outside? And this is a general statement question.
For the most part, and I think people are curious about people who come from outside. They have all the stories, especially coming from America. They've seen all these things and so on. So but even without them knowing anything about the foreign places, they always have this curiosity that they want to know. So that's why when you see a foreigner and an African village, people come, and then the children come, they're very curious, they want to ask questions and all that. So for us, we have a very instinctive, open curiosity towards other people.
Also,
Concerning,
okay, okay. So
yeah.
you ask the questions. You come. He doesn't have to ask. You approach him and you ask the questions.
Oh
It's not like
yeah.
it's not like you see. It's not like you guys are standoffish and he has to ask the question because they're going to ask the questions. I mean, people outside of Africa will ask questions.
Oh yes, definitely. They will ask, and not only that, they will ask questions. But one thing that I will say about Africans, they will invite you to their homes. They will
Oh,
want to feed you
that's
and give you
that's
food and
nice.
show you around. Yeah, yeah. Africans.
Immediately.
It immediately they will try to ask you questions. That's the first thing.
Oh,
After they get to know
yeah.
you, yeah,
Okay.
then you'll get to know people. They'll tell you about themselves and their homes and all that. Yeah, so people are usually very friendly. Even most people, even just not me, even people who've gone to Africa, they've said, I was greeted in a very friendly manner. They're very warm people and so on. So the only thing that sometimes maybe some people might have a negative image, like you say, if maybe they see on TV or they have some experience outside, but instinctively, naturally, people are welcome and very curious.
Okay. So you guys are pretty receptive in receiving someone outside that
Hmm.
looks like you would from a different. And because the reason why I asked that, I read somewhere years ago. I think it's the 60s and 70s. There were uh, Caribbean Rastas that went to, I think it was Ethiopia, and they were given land, and they actually live there now. So I
Yeah.
think that's yeah. I think there's something within the black person outside of Africa, a yearning to go back, something instinctively, even though he doesn't know,
Mhm.
he cannot pinpoint it. But I think there is something within blacks outside of America longing for Africa. That's just my view
I think so too. I
because
really do.
you heard it in. I mean, you heard that cry in the 60s and 70s with the Bob Marley and all the reggae singers.
Mhm.
And you got to remember too, even though they were not going back, but there was always this desire to make music pertaining to Africa. Listen to all the music in the 60s and 70s from the Caribbean. It
Mhm.
always was Africa focused.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people outside of Africa have a mixed feeling about Africa. On one hand, they do have that yearning to go back. Even if Africa might not be their motherland, it's still like their grandmotherland or the great grandmotherland or something. There's still that connection that we cannot cut off completely. And even looking at it, it hasn't been that long, 500 years, of separation compared to how long have we been in Africa. So they still, even if you don't want to go back, I think there's still that need inside a lot of diaspora blacks who want to go back. The problem comes when we look at the historical connection, but there's also a historical pain and injury that they still
Mhm.
feel we haven't really healed from, or even talked about. The pain of slavery was something that the outside Africans suffered, and the inside Africans, we just kept quiet about it, and we moved on, or we just said it happened and so on. So we Africans are not very good at talking about painful things. We'd rather let it go and continue. But I think that is still something that we have to come together and discuss as Africans and African Americans, because that's the great divide that's still keeping a lot of African Americans still a little bit hostile. Not a little bit, quite a lot hostile to Africans.
Yeah, but another thing I noticed that you guys embrace reggae music. Look at Lucky Dube, who promoted. That was fascinating to see you guys embrace it and really played it similar to what was happening in the Caribbean, but you had your own style. So
Hmm.
I noticed that music was like a kind of bridge to, because there was a struggle in South Africa, and then people in the Caribbean were struggling. So you were able to identify and embrace that music. So
Hmm.
there's a connection there.
Yeah. Have you heard of Alpha Blondie?
Oh, that's the guy from Sierra Leone. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I keep up. I keep up with that stuff. Alpha Blonde, Lucky. I think Lucky Dube was shot and killed. I think.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
yeah.
you'll be surprised. People from the Caribbean are up with what's happening in Africa more than any other. Not only politically but socially too. I mean, we know all the revolutionaries. I mean,
Where from the Caribbean?
I'm from Grenada.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, that's
That
interesting.
that's close to
Yeah,
Trinidad. And
yeah.
the music down there is calypso and soca music. So that, again, that's another type of music, you know.
Hmm. I find that Caribbeans embrace their African identity more than Black Americans. For them, I think it comes a little bit easier for them than Black Americans. I don't know why, but that's just how I see it. I see we have Africans and Caribbeans tend to get along better than, say, Africans and Black Americans. But
Well, when I went to school in Washington D.C., I met people from Ethiopia, I met people from Uganda, and
Mhm.
interestingly enough, based on what you're saying, I studied a lot with them, and when I studied, they came around, and I don't know. Once they found that I was from the Caribbean, it was like like how you call it, a curtain just came down. They were just open and everything, and the transition, it was easy to make friends, to be honest with
Mhm.
you. And I study with
Yeah.
most of them. I study a lot with most of them because I was in the accounting department studying
Mhm.
accounting,
Mhm.
and a lot of them were accountants. But in that area in America, there are a lot of I think it's Ethiopians in that area.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah,
And coming back,
and that reception is similar to what you'd find in Africa. You'd first start talking, and people, are sort of polite, and then the more you talk, you suddenly discover, oh, this and that, and then it just opens up, and everybody just starts sharing and becoming, just talking.
and coming
So.
And coming back to the dress, we don't wear the African dress regularly. I mean, people
Mhm.
go to shirt and pants, but what we do, we have ceremonies where we actually, the colors of how the African women dress and stuff, like in ceremonies
Mhm.
and dance, those things are worn. The
Mhm.
different color
Absolutely.
African dress, yeah, those stuff is handed down. So that's why, here's the thing: if they're making these dress, they had to have found that somewhere. They're not going to just adopt that and say, okay, I'm going to take the African dress. There has to be some connection, and maybe we haven't yet put our fingers on it, but people from the Caribbean, a lot of people from the Caribbean in general, embrace Africa a lot. And I think the transition, I made a comment a couple weeks ago that people from the Caribbean tends to assimilate quicker in Africa than any other people outside of Africa.
Mhm.
And that's something I notice.
I believe that. I believe that. And in fact, in the Caribbean, they actually were responsible for upholding a lot of the West African traditions that they had left with from West Africa. So when you see, the Haitians, for example, they kept a lot of their traditions now that even they're losing in West Africa. So, for this was also a continuation of African culture, because even in the continent itself, a lot of that culture was, lost. It was schooled out of a lot of people. People forgot a lot of things, so we didn't have the full continuity that we had centuries before, for example. So we also lost some of that culture. So the
Another
people, the Africans who left, actually went and continued that culture outside.
and another thing is the French and the British and went back and forth to control a lot of the
Mhm.
Caribbean islands, Grenada and islands like this. Finally, it was the British. One
Mhm.
of the things that's interesting is that we do a lot. Drums are very big for the
Yes,
ceremonies. The
yes.
drums. And my thing is this: if the Europeans control for so many years, why are they not adapting the European music, and why are they going back to the drums? So there is something there.
Yes, there
You know what I
is.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
If for hundreds of years the European, you know what I mean? If for hundreds of years the Europeans are there, the English are there, the slaves who are now free didn't adapt their music, classical music, Beethoven music. They went back to the drums. That is telling us something, that there is a huge, because the drums connects us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And
So I think, go ahead.
um, Van Van Brand, did I say your name right? Okay. So you were saying why do they still call themselves? It's because of that. They feel it, even if they don't. They see it first of all. We look alike, but they also feel it. You don't think when people hear that Afro beats anywhere, they don't feel
Yes.
like jumping up and dancing?
Hey, hey,
but
Supreme.
but do you think they listen to Afrobeat?
They feel it in their soul. They feel it somewhere.
Yes. And Supreme.
Recently, I've seen a lot of collaborations with the Afro and the Americans doing music together,
Yes.
with kids,
Yeah.
Davido, and all that.
Hey, Supreme. Think about it this way. You know, like in America, when the music start, you have a bunch of people. They're doing the same movements, hand to the left, hand to the right. In the Caribbean, once that drum starts, it's like something within that person. And the thing about it, everybody is dancing different, but they're dancing to the rhythm. A woman might be going around in circles. A person might be moving to the left. They're moving their head back and forth. But what I'm saying, there is something there, bro. And that's why, instead of us fighting each other, we should be embracing each other.
Yeah, the fighting side is very difficult to understand because myself, I don't really understand why we cannot simply come together. It's sad. But let me see, Mike. Mike, are you a black American?
No, no. I've lived in America. I grew up in America, but I'm a Nigerian. I came here when I
Oh,
was young, so
okay. So, Mike, what is your take on, because Tarzan has given us a lot and also some tangible reason why African Americans, no, Black Americans, Tarzan, Tarzan say I'm a prejudice, so I accept it. But Mike, what is your say on this?
this is what I think. You see how from my experience, from my interaction, this is where I can put it. When the African diaspora, the black diasporans, like Caribbeans, they are spiritually Africans and they are still mentally Africans a lot. But
Amen.
the black Americans, they are spiritually Africans, but they are mentally white. You understand? So that's where their confusion is. That's where their imbalance is. That's why their behavior is kind of like they see themselves. They do things more in their spirit, from their natural instincts. You can see African in them, but in their mental, they just reject that African thing. They don't see themselves as African mentally, and that has to do with their indoctrination. You understand? Compared to a Caribbean person, where they grown up in a highland, they just among themselves. There's no forces, kind of like working in them, doing some psychological thing to them. You understand? But in America, it's like the way from the day you are born, you're constantly being mentally taught that Africa is not something to want to associate with, or there's nothing positive that you would learn about Africa in America. You understand? So as a natural human instinct, you don't want to associate yourself with anything that's just you find to be negative. You understand? So that's where the Black American issue is. They don't mentally, they don't want to be African, but spiritually, they'll be the first to be saying they are proud to be black, they are black, they better than, But when it's time for the African thing, they just don't want to. They don't, something in their head is like rejects Africa. You understand?
You're very right about that. Interesting points.
Yeah. That's what it is. So a Caribbean, from my interaction, when I run into Caribbean people, I easily make friends with them. It's almost like I'm dealing with another African. When I'm around a Caribbean person as a Nigerian, it's almost like I feel the same like I'm dealing with a Ghanaian or another African person from another African country.
Yes.
But when I get around Black America, it's almost like I'm not even dealing with a Black person. Like you could tell that, okay, these people, they you can feel them as Africans, but your interaction with them is like you are dealing with a whole different race of people.
It's like a confusion.
You're confused. It's like you feel like you're not dealing with a Black person. It's like you're dealing with a white or Chinese or something. Just not like you don't feel the Black spirit in them, like
There's
in their behavior.
We call it a confusion.
Yeah. So that's what it is.
Do you feel like they are considering themselves like a bit better Black version, like hybrid, like
no, this is what it is. Over the years, you have to understand that the people that control the media, before the social media came, where we all have freedom to present our own version of story or present ourselves, tell our own story, you have to understand that the whites have always been the one controlling the airways globally. And you have to understand the Cold War politics, where the Soviet and the American were trying to influence the world, to see the world, to look up to whoever they can. Whoever can influence the world the most is who the world will follow. So America successfully uses media to push Americanism as America as a superior nation. You understand?
Yeah.
And then they wrap the Black American as the superior Black. So if you notice, they promote the Black Americans on TV, on everything, to the point where even we Africans, we see them as this even Blacks all over the world. We think Black Americans are the people to follow.
Yeah, because in Britain, in the United Kingdom, they have Black people, but they are not seen so much like
the Black Americans.
Yeah,
it's called American supremacy. They promote America. It's the American image that they're trying to sell to the world as the supreme image. So the Black American themselves, they watch the whole thing themselves. So the media themselves, they make them feel that they are just above other Blacks. They are better. They are just special Blacks. But in reality, they are not. Because once you move to America and you live around them, you realize that really there's really nothing special about these people like that. There's just, in fact, you begin to realize that you're actually like culturally better than them. I mean, not to disrespect, but you can see that the Caribbeans and the Africans, we're actually culturally more civilized. And even socially more civilized.
I normally want people to be very natural, like just be natural, because already, I have a whole lot of attacks coming from every angle. So on this channel, I love to see a viewer, you just have to be yourself. Just flow. You understand? Just flow. Sorry, you can continue.
Yes. So when you actually travel, when you come to the America, you actually live the experience. You realize that what you're being what you consume on media is not reality. You understand? It's not the way you. That's why they call media programming. It's a programming thing. It's something about the media that program your mind. You know, even indoctrination, which is far from reality. So when you have actually lived in America, you lived in Caribbean, you lived in Africa, that's when you see the reality of who people are. Like, okay, this is not where I think they are. Like, you know, growing up in Africa myself, I just thought we African was just less. You understand? Now when we are growing up, we all want to be Americans, we want to be,
Yeah.
you know, we want to be European, especially Americans. But then when you leave Africa and come to America and you get mature, you realize that, oh, being an African is actually better. Is, you know, your culture is richer. Your
Okay, let me ask. There is a question that I want to ask Tazan, because you made some point over there that growing up in America has given you a very different view. So let me see, Tazan, what is your experience like? What how are you going to put blacks from America, like comparing to your views about Africa? Because looking at what Mike is saying, he's making some serious how do I put it? You know, like some view, some concrete view over there, because he grew up over there. I don't know if you grew up over there, but then within the time that you have lived in the United States, Tarzan, what do you have to say concerning the view of Mr. Mike?
Yes, the view that we Africans are culturally at an advantage. I will say that. I won't use the word better or superior, but advantage. When I first came, okay, firstly, you have to remember, when you come, you're going to be, anywhere you go, you're going to be greeted with ignorance. People are going to just, you know, like the things we see about them, at least we have more information about them. They have less information about more people than us. You know, we have misinformation about Black Americans, which is maybe 40 million of them. They don't know anything about 1 billion Africans. So when you come, you know, they won't know. And both of them, both white and Black Americans, have the same concept. For them, the world revolves around them. America, number one, you know. So that's the part, the history and the people that they'll know. So that was that. There's when it comes to firstly, I will say this: when it comes to being the best Blacks, they are the best Blacks. The reason why I say this is there's no other group of Black that I've seen, you know, even in Africa, who have taken their race as seriously as Black Americans in America. Would you agree? I think everybody would agree with that. Like, if somebody was just proud just proud of being just Black, and Black, it's Black Americans, you know. Okay, even we Africans.
Is getting really confusing, because you are making another point and Mike is also making another point.
You see that confusion?
I'll come to his point. I'm making my way there.
They are very, very proud to be Black, but they don't want to associate with Africa. So what sense does that make? You know,
that's the way I was going to go there. So they're good. Their points, they get them they get the Black points, but they don't have a lot of African points. And I told you that it's complicated with them, because for them they still feel the historical injury of slavery. I don't think Caribbeans really not feel it, but they don't really, how do I say this? They don't, yes, that one. So see, we have ways of communicating. So so I think that's also one of the reasons why it's more complicated with them, because not identifying with Africa, they need a very strong identity, and that strength comes in the racial identity. So for them, when you come here, you really do feel, you know, the pride and the stigma of being Black. You really feel your skin. when you're in Africa, you just walk around, it's nothing, it's not even an issue, you're just looking around. But here you really you become very aware of it. That's one thing. So when it comes to the race, they 100%, or maybe not 100%, there's still some who are not fully embracing, but I would say that they're the strongest blacks of all blacks in the planet. When it comes to Africanness, they go in bits and in and out. Sometimes they want to be proud of Africa, and they are maybe in the 80s, 90s, and then Black Panther comes out, everybody's all Wakanda for a while, and then they go back to
Okay, so the Wakanda movie itself tells a little bit about their specialty too, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but Mike, can you hear me, Mike?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yes, Mike. Another thing is, I think it was in the late 70s. Again, showing the connection between the Caribbean and Africa. The commissioner of police and the assistant commissioner of police in the late 70s were Nigerians. So there are, and they were very respected, and they never had an issue. They were from Africa, but they were just part of the people in Grenada. They were not looked at differently or anything. We know they were Africans we know they were Nigerians, but they were very respected, and people received them warmly in the country. So again, another thing to look at, the independence of Zimbabwe. Who performed there? Bob Marley. Again, the connection. Look at that guy from Jamaica. He was trying to, I think he was creating a black style liner. Marcus Garvey. Again, a connection with Africans and Caribbean people. So the connection is always there. It's just that we're trying to find a way back home, man.
This is what I would say. I would say the biggest strategy of the black race is the fact that we ignore the Caribbeans. Like, people look more to Black America and then they look to Africa, but we ignore the Caribbeans. And one thing is, when it comes to a group of blacks, they're actually more like pro, let's say, Pan-African, in the sense that they have more African spirit, where they see Africa as just Africa and black as just blacks. And then have this desire for this greater black race is the Caribbean people.
Okay, you can finish up. Yeah.
Is the, like he just gave you those examples, of Bob Marley, and in the Caribbean music, you see that they celebrate Africa a lot. They are so into getting to their roots, like just studying, knowing Africa very well. And from my interaction too, I've seen a lot in America. The Caribbeans are very simple people. They're less judgmental. I've never run into a Caribbean message that's discriminative compared to we the Africans and the Black Americans, in a sense. Although we the Africans are very lovely, but we have this ethnic pride. You understand? Like tribe, like we're so into our tribes. You understand?
Oh, terrible. Yeah.
We are so into our tribes.
Yeah, Mr. Ugandan got it right there.
Mr. Uganda just said it. He said, people take their tribe seriously.
Seriously.
We take it too seriously. But in the Caribbean, we can also see them as people of different tribes. Because I've run into Trinidadians, Jamaicans, Grenadians, they're all different nations. But they're not so deep into that tribal pride. Like, oh, I'm Grenadian, so you'll see the Caribbeans, once they get together, all the Caribbean flags are together. They're just like one
no
people.
War, no fighting.
You will see, he's the Caribbean. They do it all together. They're all Caribbean. But and then in America, when we doing things, you see that the Nigerians are doing it there. Everyone is invited, of course. When the Kenyans are doing it, everyone is invited. There's no push away anything. But you don't see the all African flags together.
No.
You don't see that. But the Caribbeans,
I went to the Caribbeans where, like, I don't know how many club countries and people were there. Everybody's waving a flag.
All the Caribbean flags are together.
Yeah.
When the Jamaicans are doing something, the Trinidad are coming with their flags, the Grenadians, they all bring it together, you know.
For us,
They
we
bring
have
it.
like a Cameroonian gala, you know, they'll invite a few people. We have the Ghanaian gala. Everybody has their own individual ones, and then we invite other people, but they had it all. And I think you've gotten the formula for our unity and maybe one day.
The Caribbeans have the formula. They have it. They have the mentor. They should be one leading the rest of us, I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
They should be the one leading. But like I said, the tragedy
is
is people don't pay attention to the Caribbeans. Like we
No,
just
we don't.
Hey, Mike, for example, the Grenadian flag has red, green, and gold. Does those colors mean anything in Africa? There
We
are
have
countries in
that's the
Africa,
isn't that the Pan African red,
but
green,
but there
and
are countries in Africa that has red, green, and gold on their flags.
We don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
gold, but we have the
Ghana.
RBG flag.
Yellow,
Kenya
yellow,
has
yellow, yellow,
RBG.
yellow.
Yellow.
Yellow is
That's the
Ethiopia.
Pan African flag, isn't it? The
Yeah,
Ethiopia.
the red, gold, green. The red, gold, green,
Ethiopia
and
and
the black
Ghana.
star.
Yeah, but Mike, you're right. Let's say a Trinidadian is having a party and he calls his Grenadian friend, or he calls, no, they roll up with their flags, but that flag don't mean nothing. And what that means, they just identify the country they're from, but that is not going to cause a fight. And I may mingle with some Trinidadian friends, or oh, that's my Barbadian friend over there. Oh, that's my Jamaican friend. Oh, let me go say hi, and we might be sucking a couple of beers together, no problems. So that's the beauty of the Caribbean, and the music, like for example, calypso and soca. Trinidad plays that music. So if I go to a Trinidadian party, I could identify with the food. The name might be a little different, but the ingredients are the same. So I could identify the food. I could identify with the music, and it's just like I'm Trinidadian. So it's pretty nice. It's sweet, they say.
yeah, I learned
We
a lot
have,
from being around Caribbean people, man.
we
I
have,
learned so much.
we have Saint James. Saint James. What is your take on this particular topic?
Thank you for adding me, man. I was just lying down in bed and I came across your channel. This is my first time seeing you on YouTube.
Welcome
And
aboard.
I was just enjoying the conversation, but I do remember a voice, Mike. Mike, you used to come to Afrodamus?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like it when Africans from the United States are calling on these kind of shows because I get tired of some Africans living other places calling on certain shows because they don't. No, I'm being honest because when Mike speak, I understand because I live in the state.
Mhm.
And there is no point of us lying because when you said African American, when I landed to the United States and I heard the word African American, I was trying to understand why these people call themselves African American because I'm African, like by my accent. So, and when you see nothing behind it, it gets funny. I lived in New York. I never seen anything African American. I never seen anything.
Which part of New York?
I used to live in Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn. I lived in the Bronx. I
I
live
live
all
in
over the place.
I live in
So,
Brooklyn too.
okay. So, like your first weekend, right? You're trying to go to the club, right? Coming from Africa, you're trying to go to the club, and you see a bunch of black folks who don't even rock your music, right? They don't rock anything African. They don't eat anything African. They don't do anything African. Like you may see a group of people who wear dashiki. That you can see that they call it dashiki over here. So I don't even know what that was. Somebody had to point it out to me. This is dashiki. So I was like, what is the connection? Because I couldn't see any connection. But everybody be like, yeah, it's time for us to go back to Africa. Yeah, I'm going back next year. I'm going back in 10 years. It's like, so I was like, damn. And you're okay. If I call myself African American, it should be more than that, right? So for us African, it look a little weird to us. I'm not saying you don't have to call yourself African American. If you wanna rock your lineage, that's fine. But I didn't see anything behind it. You see what I'm saying?
But don't you see? But it's obvious that their race is African. And don't you see that it's obvious that they were brought from Africa? So for that reason, that makes them Africans, right?
That's what I said. I said if you want to rock your lineage, going to Africa is cool. But like I said, there was nothing behind it. It's like I'm African American, but there is nothing African about you.
What about
I
their
think there's
race?
something behind it.
What is it?
It is that deep need to be where you belong, where you feel that you
Have you
belong.
seen
And I
these
don't
people talking about African? Do you think they belong there?
think some of them feel that they do.
So
Well, they don't feel like they belong here.
you brought up the word belong. Do you think some of these people belong there? Are you serious right now?
I didn't. Some of them, yes. I didn't say all of
Like
them.
who?
But let me also say something. Do you feel that they belong here?
They have to
That's a
say
good
it. I don't
question.
have to say that.
Exactly. Some of them feel they don't belong here, so they're looking for somewhere to belong.
The feeling is not always true, right?
Not always. That's why some of them go and come back.
If somebody right, that's what I was getting at, right? If you tell me, I don't feel like I belong here, but I'm doing everything I can to be here, you don't think you're doing two different things?
I think that deep down they all want to. They feel like a connection. Whether
I don't
they're going
believe
to
that. I
go.
don't believe that. When you have a connection, you work on it. It's like you courting a girl, right? If you have a connection with that girl, you will make sure that the girl is okay. You make sure she's fine, right? You make sure you take care of her. So it's not the same with certain people. The most of the people here in America who talk down on Africa are not white people. They're black people. The people who disrespect African here in America, they're not white. They're black themselves.
And that's it exactly. Why do you think they talk particularly bad about Africa? Because it's still a connection, whether it's a positive or a negative one, they still feel it. Even the ones who hate it the most. Why do they spend their time? If they want to be by themselves,
when somebody talk bad about you, that will take a lot from you.
Yeah.
It's not like you and I, we sit here, we're talking about Zambia, we're talking about Ivory Coast, or we're talking about Senegal. If we criticizing a country is different than talking bad and talking down. They're two different things.
But remember what I said about the wound, their injury. They still feel like they are aggrieved by Africa. So the Caribbeans, they feel
this is fake. It's fake. It doesn't exist. It's fake.
It's fake that
you live in America. You live in America.
Yes.
Okay. So what are they aggrieved about?
They say you've had this that. Africans sold them into slavery, right?
And you believe that, my sister?
I believe that some people did, but not everybody.
Where are you from?
Kenya.
Well, so you can't speak on that, really. It's like you from the East Africa. You don't know a lot. So it's like you get carried away. You get carried away about what these Black Americans are telling you. You get just carried away. So that's all.
So are you saying it didn't happen?
The way it happened is not the way you're explaining it. It's not the way they're explaining it.
Okay, well, explain to me then.
I would not have the time to do that, but I'm just saying, just be careful about everything that you hear coming from the Black community here in America. Some of it is based on emotions. That's it. It's based on emotion only.
So are you saying that the whole issue of African Americans wanting to go back to Africa, it's not consistent, it's selective at times, the idea of
it's
going
selective
back to
it's selective. It's like what I just explained. It's just romanticizing the place because it's popping right now. Okay. You hear about Ghana, people are going to Ghana. Let me go to Ghana and see what's going on.
Okay.
Right. It's not like I like the Ghanaians. I like the Ghanaian dishes. It's like, let me go and have my name over there. Let me make sure people can see me from in Ghana. You see what I'm saying? But when the Ghanaians speak, it's kind of like, no, that's not what we want to do. You see what I'm saying?
Where are you from? Ghana?
I'm from Burkina Faso.
Is that west or middle or
west? It's west.
So that's
Ghana is home for me too, as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the countries that surround that Faso?
You got Ghana, you got Ghana, you got Nigeria, you got Mali, you got Niger, If
Okay.
what else you have? Yeah, those are the main country we have.
What is the capital of Burkina Faso?
Ouagadougou.
Ouagadougou. Thank you.
Yes.
Everybody sees that word, and we don't attempt to pronounce it.
Right, it's Ouagadougou. Yeah.
Ouagadougou.
So I'm not trying to. It's like I'm trying to say this. Let me say this. I've lived. I lived in Georgia, right?
Mhm.
I can say this. Most of the people that I came across in Georgia
Mhm.
are very connected to Africa.
Mhm.
You know, when they speak of Africa, you can see in their voice they really like it. They want to go visit. The people are friendly.
Mhm.
But when you come east, we're talking about New York, we're talking about Philadelphia, Baltimore, all these places.
Mhm.
Most of these black people have no connection whatsoever with the continent. You know, there will maybe a few, not a lot, but you see black people on the street, you talk about Africa, it's like, yeah, whatever. It's whatever. You know, I just don't want to be here talking and making people feel like black Americans don't like Africa. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But I'm trying to tell Africans also be honest about what you see, man. Don't come here and pretend, you know. It is what it is. Black American, they don't sugarcoat things. I don't want Africans to sugarcoat things, man. Be honest and we can learn from one another and move forward. That's all I'm trying to say, man. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, you know, and oftentimes you see some even African coming at me like, yeah, you're not being honest. I live here. My reality is totally different than yours. You know, the people that put me down here in America, I'm not gonna say, but you know that community. They're the one that put me down. They're the one that disrespected me. I take the disrespect. I don't have a problem. You know, I'm cool. I'm built different. You're not gonna stop me from doing anything. But the facts remain the facts, right?
Mhm.
So
When
you
you
had a
say
bad.
white supremacy, when you say white supremacy, to me, it doesn't make sense to me because those people never stopped me from doing anything. So your story might be different than I do, and I respect where you're coming from with this. But when I come across my own skin color doing those things to me, it's kind of weird for me to sit with you and talk about a different race. It's hard. It's hard, and a lot of Africans have had the same situation. You know, let's be honest about it. You know, if you want me to be with you on a fight, you have to be protecting me as well because we are foreigners on these lands too. You know, we need protection from you guys, and oftentimes it doesn't happen. Even yesterday, I was listening to a program where somebody said African got their reparation when they came to America. I went to sleep. I couldn't believe it. So it's like that's every time they want to speak for us, and when they speak for us, it's like damn, you don't even feel the connection. It's like damn, you're not even hearing me. You're not even hearing me. Why can you say that? I got a reparation because I came to the States.
Because they fought for us to come out here,
You see, my sister, Kenyan, please. You see, you repeating a lot.
She says she is she's the peace lady. So she doesn't come for anybody.
This is what I think. I think the biggest mistake and the biggest strategy of Black America is they allow their oppressor to be their educators. You understand? And that's what I said earlier. They are spiritually Africans, but psychologically they are more like whites. Because sometimes, just like that brother just said, sometimes when the Black American, those category of Black American he described, I won't say it's all of them be like that. When they talk to him, it's almost like a KKK is talking to you, like you wonder, like, okay, is this a black person talking to me? It's another black man, like showing me. It's like you see a racist white man talking to you, and it's a black person. So the whites have educated them to think like them and do things their way, do what they would do. So it's almost like the whites have programmed their head to reason like them and to see things the way they see things. So the way a white man see a black man and has this disdain. So those ones have been psychologically programmed to think like those whites. That's the same way they so it's kind of like they become a white man in a black skin. You understand? But let's be fair, the ones that discover Africa, the ones that later on break themselves out of that mental yoke, they are different. Just like you just mentioned, when you went to Georgia, you ran into those ones that are very connected with African people. They're different, you know. So it's a mental thing. It's a psychological
You
thing.
know what you see? Maybe you live down south, right? You know what you see? You can see part of our culture down south, right? The way they cook, the way they greet people, the hospitality, like you usually hear it, southern hospitality. Where does that come from? It's mainly
That
on
comes
the
from Africa.
right. That's why I said these people can connect because they have some of that, which is still intact down south. That's why these people are more relatable.
I think it's not. I don't think it's more of a south or north. I think it's more of an inner city. The inner city culture. The inner cities of America is dominated by whites.
Absolutely.
Information. You know, white people giving. But when in the rural part of America where the blacks lives, they are together among themselves. They don't interact much with the white. They are together among themselves, so they educate themselves more. So that's why they don't have that much deep white. And those ones, everyone's scared of those white. They don't even want to interact with those whites, you know. So those ones, they'll be more like the Caribbeans. You understand? Because they are more among themselves. But in the cities like New York, all the cities, they just deal with more whites and they get information from whites, and white people just brainwash them to eat what they ate. Like when white man doesn't like, they don't like. White man don't like Africans, they don't like Africans. You know, so
but this black America, the black that live in the South, right? I lived there for
that's what I'm saying.
They don't have any problem with white folks.
It's more rural.
I haven't seen. I never saw one of them telling me that they're afraid of white people. They work with them. They know what's going on. They know these people may be racist. They may not be racist, but their relationships is. I never seen any problem with that. But you know, I don't say. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. Whatever, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, things don't exist there. But I never came across a white man over there being disrespectful to blacks. I never seen it. I never seen it. For some reason, I never seen it. And the friend I interacted with, I had so many black American friends that never been part of our conversations. Like, oh yeah, these white folks, they're racist. No, they don't say those things. That's why for me, it's like when people talking about discriminations and stuff like that, and you see some black folks talking about it, I sometimes ask myself, where does that come from though? It's not like white folks are the best people on earth. No, I'm just saying I don't see a lot of examples.
I think you can say things is getting better. I don't know how long you've been here, but when I first came here, it was in the 90s. And I'm telling you, it was worse. The race relations was bad back then. Like literally,
so
when I came to America, when I came here, I'm talking about in the 90s when I came here. I came to high school. Like today, if you go to the high schools, the children all sit together. The white, black, Hispanics, Asian. You sit there and talk together. When I came, I walk into the cafeteria. It was segregated. The white children are sitting on one corner. The blacks on their own. The Hispanics, the Asians, they're all is segregation. So as the year goes by, things is changing. But then people have old memories. You understand? So you that just came from maybe Africa, and you just experiencing the recent dynamic. You understand? But you don't know what has been happening in the past.
My people live here for a long time.
So I know some Nigerians just came.
I compare my situation to when my folks came. Some of my folks came here in the 70s as well. And the way they relate the stories to me, and I try to gauge it with what I'm going through right now, I see a lot of similarities. So
to be even honest, I think the many white youths these days, this generation, the whites, they even now, I noticed a big difference between like just the past, I would say 5 years to maybe past 20 years. Like white people usually, when they see a black person, they look at you like with disdain. We're like, okay, you're here to do something bad. You're just bad. You're bad. But now white people say hi to you. They say hello to you. I'm like, oh, when did this start? You know, they greet you. I'm like, okay, since when white people start greeting me? You know, they greet you and you walk. So things has changed to you know. But when somebody just come from maybe Africa today, you won't know that. Okay, but 20 years ago, these white people would not even greet you. They will just call the cops on you right away, or they just look at you like, they themselves, they get conditioned. The white people themselves, they consume media. And American media, I'm telling you, man, like if it wasn't social media that came to expose things, the way they used to paint blacks. When I came to America before social media came out, all we had was TV. And on TV, when they want to talk about Black America, it's about crime and gangsterism, all negative. And then when they show Africa, it's about jungle, naked, starving children, just wars. It was everything you consume about blackness was negative in America, completely negative, nothing positive. But it was when social media came that people can go on social media and see something good about black man. Even white people today are like, oh wow, I used to think blacks was just a bunch of, I didn't. The white person came up to me and said, I didn't know you guys had a building in Africa.
So why this thing lasted? Why this thing lasted until social media came? So when you don't care about your identity, you let anybody display whatever they want about you. So if white people were doing that, why blacks here in America didn't? I'm not saying fight back, provide like educate themselves about what's right.
But they try, man.
Oh no,
Do you know this guy? Do you know this guy?
A lot of people later F down, and they went with it. It's like if the white men are saying it, this is true. That's what I told you. When you land here, the same black people would tell you, I didn't know you guys have airports. I didn't know you guys have food. I didn't know you guys have bathrooms. I didn't know you guys have cars. They repeat the same thing that the media told them because they were the one consuming it. And white people knew it. They say, okay, if we keep pushing it, these people are going to believe it. Since they don't have the connection with Africa, they don't have the desire to travel to Africa, we will just push the garbage in their face so they can believe it. And this is what happened for a long time. I'm not saying for all.
Yeah, I agree with you. Absolutely.
I knew some African
blacks.
Some blacks went to Africa, but for the most part, the mass chose to stay here, cut off their connections, and consume the white garbage. And it went on for a long time. And they're trying to play catch up. That's that catch up that's hurting them because they don't know if they have to go left or if they have to go right. So that catch ups, Africans have to fall back and let them determine that on their own. So we don't have to influence them about anything that comes from Africa. You have to make the decision whether you like the continent or not. That doesn't have anything to do with Africans. Absolutely not.
Let me ask you guys a question. You guys, do you find can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah.
Yes.
Do you find being from Africa and living in America, whites treat you differently from the African Americans because you're from another country?
Well, I think this is what I think. I think they're both. I think, unfortunately, to be honest, I would say the negative Black American treat Africans worst, and that's the tragedy. Like the whites, they may hate you, but they still. I think when an educated man hate you and an uneducated man hate you, it's so different. Their approach will be different. Educated guy, we're trying to use diplomatic ways to, the whites basically they probably have more disdain for Africans, but they keep it inside. They know how to. They play the politics. They don't come up to you and just start insulting you or even trying to be confrontational. Just speak out of character. But they have ways to show it to you. But the blacks they're more confrontational. They confront the Africans, like literally in a room where a white man that doesn't like the African guy and a Black American guy that doesn't like the African guy are in the same room. The Black American guy will confront the African, while the white guy was just, he equally does not like the African, but he would try to play his cards, plays. But unfortunately, that's the tragedy that the Africans are expressing more of the discrimination from the Black American, and that's the tragedy. And unfortunately, the same Black American will say, okay, when we are protesting, how come you guys don't join us? How can I join you in march against racism when I'm experiencing the racism from you? So That's just the tragedy. Even online today, if you look at it, who's insulting Africans? Is it the whites or is it the blacks? The Tariq Nasheed and all these guys. Is it? Come on. After all that stuff Tariq Nasheed says about African people, and you, if you want to march against white racism, would I want to join you? You know, you understand? So
Mhm.
the whites probably feel more. I'm convinced the white Americans have more hatred for the Africans. I think the black Americans just ignorant in the way they do their things, in the way they carry out their own feelings. You are just loose, no control. You just express what's in your heart mind without any kind of applying diplomatic sense, diplomatic reasonings. So it makes you look like you're just a bigot and not the white man. In fact, when in reality you're not them, you're not really hateful of African. You just don't know how to express yourself. That's what it is. So it's not. They just need to be better educated. I think their leaders need to just step in and trying to educate the people. Like, listen, you're doing yourself a disservice because these Africans are probably should be your biggest allies in America, and these are the people you're going after the most. You know, it's a tragedy. You know, the Black Americans have an issue with almost everyone in America, but they confront the Africans more than they will confront anybody else. So they need to work on that. And I think that's what the issue is. You know?
All right, guys. So today it has been a very wonderful day. I went and had some nice rice whilst listening to each and every one of you. It was really a fantastic day, but we haven't finished this particular discussion because we didn't have enough African Americans to come on and explain themselves because we had Tarzan from Kenya who is living in the United States. The Peace Lady, we love you so much. And Foley too from the United Kingdom, right? Grenada.
Grenada.
Yes, and I love the accent because it's when I'm hearing the accent, I feel like I am listening to dancehall music. But anyway,
Shaba.
You see
yes,
what I'm
and then
saying? You see what I'm
yes,
saying? You identify
dancehall
with the Caribbean
music.
music, man.
I love it. I love it. I listen to Vibes Cartel and I also listen to Movado too as well. And Kenya, I have one of my sweetest vlogging sister. Her name is Kimuntu Bia. I love to watch her videos and all things Africa too as well. I love the Kenyan accent. Sometimes I like to try as much as I can to speak like Kenyan, but it's very difficult sometimes for me to pick up. But I love to like to feel the Kenyan accent.
Thank
Whenever I come on YouTube, my first channel that I go straight is Kimuntu Beer and all things Africa too as well. So if you guys are watching, you can look for Kimuntu Beer. Her channel is fantastic. She's always bringing you guys more things about Kenya and Africa as well in bracket. And Mike, this is my first time having Mike on this channel, and I have learned a lot from Mike too as well. And he's a brother who is just close from me, Nigeria, right? Recently we played some football. We had some.
You guys are lucky on that one.
That was after Ghana was lucky. I saw what happened in the stadium, but it wasn't supposed to happen though. But I love that we normally clash when you saw what happened right after the match.
Yeah, I saw it. Now they shouldn't have played that game in Abuja, man. Abuja is like
they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have.
They should have played
But
it in
anyway,
Lagos.
I love you guys so much. You did a great. You share a very great. What do you call it? How do I put it? You shared a very great knowledge on here because a lot of people will later on come and then watch this live and then learn a lot. Tanzan gave us a very tangible comment on African American, but I still say they are Black American though. And Mike also.
I say it can be both.
Yes,
Can I
yes,
piggyback to
it
what
can be
Mike
both.
just said? Can I piggyback to what Mike said?
Yes, you can. You can. You can.
Yes, he made a great observations about Caribbeans, right? Well,
Yeah.
the part of the country the country I come from, I came across Caribbeans and Jamaican first, right?
Yeah.
Because of Bob Marley and stuff like that, right? So we learn about their culture. I can even say we learn about Jamaican culture before African American. I can say that. So I'm used to. I've seen a lot of Jamaican, like Caribbeans, in my country before I came to the United States, right? So we had a great bond with the, I can say, Caribbeans. And when I came to the United States, most of the Caribbean I met a lot of guys from Trinidad and Tobago when I was in New York. I met a lot of people from Belize when I was in Chicago. And relationship wise, everything was smooth, you know, no problem, no issues at all. You see what I'm saying? So yes, I can say that, the Caribbeans is well connected when it comes to the motherland. Should we let them lead because our history goes back to the, whatever? For us, for me, right, leading a movement doesn't mean some other people have to sit back and listen and not say anything, right? So what I see on the continent, I see a lot of people when the country is good, they look down on others. So that's not leadership. If you cannot uplift everybody, I'm not me being the not being the top dog, right? Why would I sit here and let you shine and I can't even shine? You see what I'm saying? So Mike
Yeah.
is from Nigeria. So when Nigerians are speaking, I know exactly what come with it, right? If you're representing the continent in a positive light, I can rock with that. That's no problem. But if you're now reaching out to the to the others, it's going to be a problem because little boy ain't going to be little boy for a long time. He's going to have to step up. Of course, that's human nature. That's human nature. It happens.
Yeah.
So that's what I was trying to say. I see. I'm all over the place. So, like Mike also said, in America, everything is like on the supremacy level. Like everything has to be we the best, we the leaders, we the whatever. A lot of people have bought into that. So when they talk to others, it's like, let us lead. We are the leader. We have the voice. And I'm like, what have you done? What have you done for us lately? What have you done for the movement? And every time when they want to point out something, it goes back to the 70s, the 60s, the 50s. And I'm like, that don't count. The people who have done those things are now that they don't live anymore. And this situation right now is for us and for the people behind us. So I'm not going to listen to what MLK did or what Malcolm X did or whoever, even Thomas Sankara, Kwame Nkrumah. I don't care. I worry about what's going on right now. If we can't get together, there shouldn't be a leader, my man. There shouldn't be one. We have to work together and find who's going to be the leader, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You can't come because, my people have done this in the past, therefore I'm supposed to lead. I'm supposed to lead. No.
Yeah. It's true though.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Yes. So, guys, it is really an amazing day, and at least we have learned a lot from each and every single one of you guys. You did fantastic job by joining to share more on this. But I will still do another version of this, and I will add another topic to it because there is another deep topic that I picked up from Tazan, and also Mike as well. So I'm going to sit down and then put that topic together. Then we plan a live video, but we have to make sure we have some Black Americans to join, and then they have to tell us something because we need to know why. So they have to tell us. But I will still buy what you guys said too as well, because it is very educative, and I love you guys. Don't forget to share the channel, click the bell button of the subscription so that I can simply get you more interesting topics, and also normal vlogs too about South America too as well. I do all kind of vlogs. I do all kind of vlogs, like I said. I love you guys, and enjoy your Saturday with a blessed evening. I love you guys. Enjoy your evening. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.